Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin. Guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian. Guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville. No surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin. Guerrilla cricket.
Good morning, good evening, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. It's Guerrilla Cricket, and we're back for the second T20 versus New Zealand. Some might say it's pointless. Maybe. Maybe England, as both of them said, should be in Australia playing lots of games against Shield sides. Who knows? It doesn't happen these days. Instead, they go and make money. And we're in New fucking Zealand again, mainly because Baz wants a holiday. And, yeah, here we go. Saturday was rained off, no result. England batted, got 153, and it looked quite tricky. And today, they're using the same pitch, so I can't imagine it's going to be any easier. The weather is quite sunny right now, but according to Cricinfo, it's going to get, well, it's like spring in England. There's a good chance of rain, and it could be on and off. We shall see. I'm joined by Messi Jez once again, and Will to start this morning. How are you both?
I'm well, although a bit pissed off. It rained yesterday for the Australia-India ODI until I left the ground, in which case it stopped raining and they had a good game. I'm not even fucking trying to forecast this game. They said it'd be fine on Saturday and it wasn't. They're saying today there might be a shower. All I know is it's fucking windy there.
Yeah,
it really is.
It looks windy. Good toss to win on a. If they're using a used, I suppose they did only bowl 20 overs. They didn't even get through the whole game. So, but England have got a bat on it again. It wasn't an easy wicket to bat on the other day. It was pretty slow. It had turn. It wasn't easy to get it away. 150 seemed like a reasonable score, but we'll never know because New Zealand didn't have to bat. Maybe they won't have to bat again today. Who knows? The joys, huh? Teams are unchanged, by the way. So England go in Phil Salt, Joss Buttler, Jacob Bethel, Harry Brook, Tom Banton, Sam Curran, Jordan Cox, Bryden Cast, Liam Dawson, Adil Rashid, Luke Wood. That's pretty not bad. Does Luke Wood bat in any way at all? I don't know. But Adil Rashid.
The best thing about that team is you get to pay Phil Salt's jingle.
Yes, of course. Which is becoming true again, it has to be said, after the other day. New Zealand go in with Tim Seifert, Tim Robinson. I think they're unchanged as well. Rachin Ravindra, Mark Chapman, Daryl Mitchell, Michael Bracewell, Jimmy Neesham, Mitchell Santner, Carl Jamesons, Matt Henry, and Jacob Duffy. What do we reckon? Same again, boys?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Going to be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
I'm slightly wondering which of the weather gods Messi has pissed off, because the weather is all sorts of everything, but, you know.
Well, I mean,
we'll get a full game.
This is it. I mean, it's the problem, isn't it, when you play, you know, it's the same in England, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day, it's at the beginning and the end of the season, it's always a little bit of a lottery. Sometimes it can be really hot and pleasant, and other times it can just be pissing down with rain and cold. Doesn't look particularly cold, it has to be said. It looks reasonably okay, but if you say it's windy, that might help the batsman a little bit. Sometimes it's difficult to bowl when it's really windy, especially for the spinners. One will hold up, one will go through, you know. Depends whether it's a crosswind that drags it down the leg side and off the line you want, but...
yeah, it's quite warm. It's 20 degrees there at the moment.
That's quite pleasant, you know. Oh, it's 15 degrees here, but it was raining this morning. I've realised that I'm going to be cycling in during winter. It's not so much fun as cycling in during the summer. Getting wet on the way.
How long did it take you to work that one out?
Yeah, I know. Well, I always knew it was going to be a problem. I'm kind of figuring that actually I realised that parking starts at 9 o'clock in the morning on the road outside. So when we have an 11 o'clock test during the Ashes, I can quite happily park and be out here by 8 in the morning.
Oh, good one.
And I won't have to cycle my bike, which is good news. They are coming out. And some other results that happened yesterday. England are now through to the semi-final of the Women's World Cup. I forgot it was on. I was watching the Grand Prix.
That was boring, wasn't it?
It was a bit.
I stayed up and watched that, went to bed at 5 o'clock. But, England's win over India in the Women's World Cup was big. It was very similar to the way they won the final at Lord's in, was it 2017?
Yeah, a bit of a cock-up at the end, wasn't it, Ryan? They were pretty much cruising that and then managed to fuck it up themselves. So that wasn't great. And also, bloody Liverpool lost their fourth in a row, which I was very upset about. Losing to fucking Man United. Funny. Oh, Jesus.
How are you losing to that lot?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck. Well, Arsenal is top, so Nestler's had the last laugh.
Yeah, that's true. It's a long way to go. I'd rather, as I was saying to Billy, who was very upset on WhatsApp, texting me away after the game, I'd rather be losing at this end of the season than the back end of the season. I'm pretty certain they'll get it together because, well, it's difficult to integrate 7 world-class players into a side that was already pretty good. And Mo's off the ball.
But to lose to Man U, fucking hell.
Huh? I know. Well, that's the painful bit. We forget about that, Nessus. We forget about that.
Yeah.
Right. We will have some jingles for the people who are out there. Opening the batting for England are this man.
Terrible, Phil Salt. Get out of my fucking England side. Twat. Can't field now. Jesus Christ.
He's back to being that man after the other day, and the other guy is
Pryor ain't no loss, 'cause we found someone Sutler. Okay, he can't spell Joss, but he also can't spell Butler. Joss Butler. Just because he is Joss Butler. 1 S and 2 T's. Joss Butler.
Ford are sponsoring this. They had lots of pictures of lots of cars. Opening the bowling, I'll give you after his first ball, which is delivered now and is bashed by Phil Salt straight at the man at extra cover. I think it's Bracewell. And there is no run.
You can never trust a man with 2 first names. Matt Henry.
Who is very good bowler these days. Always was.
Now, Mog asked me to remind you that there is actually a jingle for Hagley Oval somewhere.
There is this one.
Don't you love old Hagley? Real short, straight boundaries. Don't you love Hagley when they're making heaps of runs?
Second ball got. Phil Salt short arm that one. Over clean.
Hagley Oval. That's a great jingle. 2 great jingles already.
Oh, indeed. And that was short armed over Cow, basically. Great shot, great timing. And England off the mark with a 6.
I do love the New Zealand grounds.
Yeah, they do it right though, don't they? I mean, they figure that you don't need a big crowd, you just need it to look big. That one is a horrible hoik, but he's going to get 4 runs for it. Similar sort of shot, a lot of bottom hand. Goes all the way down to deep backward square for 4.
Except for Eden Park, Will, which is a shithole for cricket.
Is that
that's true. I don't even count that though.
Is that the cake tin?
No, that's the fucking rugby ground that they try to play cricket on. Bullshit.
Yeah. Oh well. Right. So, this is different. We've got 10 off the first 3 balls. Henry is in again, and that one cross-batted once more by Phil Salt, but only as far as a straightish mid-wicket. And there is no run. I mean, the thing about Phil Salt is I think if the ball does move, he struggles. And, of course, it's not supposed to really move in a T20.
Yeah. I mean, I guess any kind of early movement will probably be wind assisted because it's going sort of cross pitch, so that could be a thing. But
that'll probably
there's no real
there probably won't be much swing. It'll just be off the pitch then, won't it?
No. Yeah.
The Tashes are out. Fucking Antipodean Tashes. They all look nasty.
You're dependable in your disgust.
Well, I do find a Tash a disgust. That one is clipped off the pads by Salt. Deep square leg will field that though, and it will just be 1 run. And then a terrible throw comes in from Mark Chapman, trying to murder his keeper. England move on to 11 for none.
It would be a keeper, eh?
Now we should mention the GPL.
Oh yeah, it's open.
It is. And what's it worth? It must be about 120 quid, is it?
I will tell you. I can get in there. We have competitions. Let's have a look. Second T20 managed. The pot is £122.
Beautiful.
All you lovely people out there. If you want that, you know how to do it. I shall tell you after this ball, which is guided by Butler down to backward point, and there is no run. If you want to win the GPL, you have to go to Gorilla Cricket, log in or register for the GPL. Simply guesstimate how many runs will be scored in the entirety of the match. You have 45 minutes from the first ball, which means it finishes at 8 o'clock, and you have the chance, if you get it on the button, to win whatever is in the pot at the end of the game. There you go, simple. 11 for 9 after 1.
Lots of regulars with us. Leah's with us this morning all. Push the like button. What ungodly hour is this, says Stephen Kelk. He says the like button tastes of tobacco and stale dope. Good evening, says Jonathan Shorland. With so many matches being affected by rain recently, is it time to take up synchronised swimming? Matthew Cullen's with us this morning, Gorillas. A great tragedy. Jay tells us that the Halifax is saving him from himself, so he can't make any super chats today. So he's going to abuse us for free. Okay, you can abuse us for free, Jay. We know that. You've got plenty of credit in the bank, mate. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. That one is a hoik by Salt, and the kind of fat inside half of the bat goes up to mid-on, and no run. The bowler at the other end is this man. No, he's not. What am I on about? Fucking hell, it's not Jacob Bethel, is it? It's Jacob Duffy. My bowler Jake, he can swing it around, won't get hit at the ground. Comes in,
Phil Salt bounces that, pretty much bashes it into the ground, and it pops up over point, makes its way down to deep point for one of these. Yeah, one of those lucky ones where you, I mean, I suppose he hit it sweet enough, but he hit it straight into the ground and bounced over the man. He's on 15 off 7. Butler has faced one ball and has yet to get off the mark. Phil Salt facing up Duffy. Oh, top edge. It was down leg side. He's going to get 4 runs for it. It was there to hit, to be fair, but he didn't hit it cleanly. I think he may have even gloved it a little bit. But it's gone over the keeper, and it's 4 more. Very different to the other day.
There's not one boy for me. I must have 2 or 3.
It might have even come off his shoulder. I don't think.
I regard this as Phil Salt's "fuck you, bear" innings.
Well,
he heard about his jingle and said, "Nah."
Well, that's the whole point of the jingle. Hopefully, he goes against the grain most of the time. But you know,
Yeah.
I mean, if he
He's like
if he bats
Johnny
like this in a
Bairstow.
World Cup next year, I'll be very happy. That one is clipped off his pads down towards long leg, and he'll get himself a single.
he won't. He never turns up for World Cups.
I know, that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
You shall see. They've got someone else on the mic today. He's got a clean upper lip. Good man.
Keeping and mic'd up. That's not fun.
Yeah, that's not fun, is it? It's Tim Cypher, isn't it? I guess they're kind of used to all this shit now, aren't they?
Yeah, and he can talk a bit, Tim Seifert. So yeah.
I'm sure he can.
Yeah,
He'll be
that's
happy.
true.
He looks like he can. 20 for none, England, after that one is a good shot, though. That's full. Butler. How come Butler's... Oh, yeah, right. There was a single out to
That
deep
was-
and long leg, wasn't it? Butler gets off the mark. It's a full ball outside his off stump. I saw the bat turned a little bit in his hand, but he got it cleanly enough over the top of the infield on the offside. And once again, it races away to the boundary. 4 more.
2 + 2 is on my mind. 2 + 2 is on my mind.
England off to an
I know he's
absolutely
passed.
racing start.
I know he's past his pomp, but my God, he hits a sweet ball when he wants to, doesn't he?
He shouldn't really be quite past his pomp, should he? Well, that one is going to be out. He's plonked that one up in the air, and he has gone. We talked too soon. His pomp has ended. As he came down the track, tried to whack it over the top of the bowler.
That's my fault. Sorry, lads.
Why is he hanging around? Maybe it's a no ball.
So I mean, I think this is what England decided to do. Said, "Fuck it, it might rain. Let's go for hell for leather for the first 6 or 7 overs and see where we're at. And if we lose some wickets on the way, so be it."
Butler was hanging around there. Presumably, he was waiting to see. I don't know why. Surely
He's still waiting, isn't he?
I don't know. I mean, surely the no ball call would have come in quicker than that. I mean, he was down the track, and the bat turned a little bit in his hands again. I think they're looking at the no ball. It's difficult.
Well, you're not going to see that.
Well, they should have a line fucking camera, shouldn't they? I mean, it looks to me like.
I think it is a no ball.
I think it is as well. Difficult to tell.
Something has to be
because-
behind the line.
Oh, that's a no ball.
Yeah, I think that is a no ball.
Yes. Ooh. No. Where it lands, initially there's a little bit behind the line, I think.
Do you think? I'm not sure there was.
Yeah.
But it's
I don't
difficult.
know.
And they should have a better line camera than that.
I think
Yes,
on
they
the
should.
line doesn't. I mean,
No, but
The line is the umpires, that's a no
The
ball.
stump cam showed a tiny bit of the heel coming down
Yeah.
before the line.
Well, it's difficult because the heel of the boot is white, and from that angle, hitting on the line, you can't really tell. But hey, they decided to give him out, and so Josh Butler has to go.
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out.
Oh, Jay Grover's found his way around the Halifax restrictions and has super chatted us £2 just to say bell ends. Thank you, Jay.
Super chat game. Super chat game. Super chat game.
I love it when you call us bell ends, Jay. Makes my day.
There is a farm in Yorkshire called Bell End Farm, which I visited when I was there a few years ago. So B is EB says, surely it's better playing in pretty much winter in New Zealand than playing in Oz as prep for Oz. I don't know about that. Jay also says, Messers mocks the gods. He will be made to acknowledge his hubris. Billy and Bear, such strong sons of Liverpool. And Stephen Kelk says, that jingle, this is the Phil Salt one, is perfection. It is.
It is.
Jamar the Pickleball King is with us, says hello. He says, Messi will chat. I will. Matthew Cullen says, morning grillers. Lockie says, time zone vengeance is so sweet. It's 4:15 p.m, aka beer o'clock.
That's nice, wherever you are. Salt is facing up and defends the first ball of the next over by Henry, out to point, and there is no run.
I think Lockie's in Brisbane along with Brian.
Nice.
Is Brian actually in Brisbane at the moment?
Yeah.
Well, he was for the first
Yeah, he's
match.
he sent us some money.
Awesome.
He sent us some money for some supplies, but we don't really need supplies for 7 o'clock in the morning. Certainly not drinking beer at this time in the morning.
Oh, well, you can stock up for the future, though. The Ashes again.
Yeah.
Well, exactly that. I'll buy a couple of cases of beer and stick them in a corner. Well, we are doing the ODIs, which start at 1 in the morning. That'll be more like beer o'clock, but that can get dangerous. That one was short and was given not as a... I don't know if that should be given as a wide or not, but it was certainly given as one for the over. It was given as a dot ball. England 24 for 1 off 2.2. Phil Salt still there. That one is into his pads and he sweetly times that, but out to the man at long leg, deep backward square. It will be a single, bringing Jacob Battle on strike for the first time.
I have a general wonderment for you two. I've always wondered why anything backward of square isn't described as going up to backward square or whatever. It's always sort of down, but surely in terms of where the batter is, it's up.
Oh,
It's just something
it's
that...
all about semantics,
No.
isn't it? I don't know. It's always down to me.
We had Gary raising a similar thing the other day on commentary, and it's just what it is. It's always been that way.
It's always been that way. Bethel, first ball, he plays out to cover and there is no run.
What's this?
It goes
Gorillas
down to the
defending
boundary. Yeah,
tradition.
well, it always goes down to the boundary, doesn't it? Not up to the boundary. It just sounds more right.
No, I get it. It has always sort of made me wonder, you know.
Well, it's confusing. What, up one side and down the other? What, you go down to cover and up to... No.
No. Like, I think anything backward of square.
Well, that one's
Should
played
be
up
up.
to mid-off by Bethel, and they scoot through for a quick single. He gets himself off the mark. A better start by England today. Certainly in terms of runs. I think we only lost 1 wicket in the first couple of overs the other day as well, but we struggled to get some runs in the first couple of overs in a power play. So certainly better for that. And the wicket doesn't, considering it's a used wicket, it doesn't look as lively as the other night actually. Strangely enough. That could be to do with how they're bowling. That one is clipped nicely by Phil Salt. Can't beat the field. There's 2 men out on the leg side. One at basically Cow, Bracewell, who came around and stopped that as it went out to a pretty straightish mid-wicket. But they got back for 2, so only 4 off that over. Good comeback over from Matt Henry. 28 for 1 after 3.
Matthew Cullen says, in the same way that small hands work, a small ground makes your crowd look bigger. It's true. I was at Perth Stadium yesterday. There were 42,000 people there. You wouldn't have thought there were more than 15. It was amazing how they disappear into the bleachers. I think we are entering the boring middle over, says Stephen Kill. Kieran Roseblades with us says, lad, it's great news. The cousin had a baby a couple of days ago. Everyone happy and healthy. And if the Gorillas have any young female grandkids they want to ensure marry into a cricketing family, good grief, are we going to have to put up with this for the next 20 years?
Exactly.
Jay says somebody's got to pick up my super chat duty today because of tight costs. EB says the other thing about Hagley Oval is that it has a club room on site that hosted our son's 21st just the other day. No cricket involved, but fun nonetheless. Nice one.
Well, the next over is going to be bowled by a very tall man. He'll get his jingle shortly. It's Hoyt by Bethel out to deep mid-wicket. And it is just the one run. It is, where is he? He was here the other day because I played him. There he is.
It's the best type of whiskey.
And that's the story of how Kyle Jameson became a man.
Slow ball into the pads of Salt, who clips that down to Tim Robinson, who's down at long leg. He throws in another horrible throw, and then says, "I'm throwing it flat because of the sun." No, it's because you've got an overweight fucking tash on your top lip, mate. Anyway,
Dragging you down.
Jay's a bit confused, Bear. He says, "What's wrong with a 727 beer?"
well, yeah. I only
He's had practice.
I only got up an hour and a half ago. Even in the old days, I do remember we might have attempted it, but the liver has got older. Jacob Bethel plops that out to the offside, out to mid-off. They'll get a single.
Yeah, I used to do that at uni. Sort of.
Well,
I'd
exactly.
often come in. I'd often come in after work and be like, "Oh, it's 6 a.m. I've got lectures at 8. I'm just going to carry on."
Well, if you to be fair, when we're overnight, having a beer at 6 a.m. is obviously absolutely fine. Or even when we do an India series and you start at 4 a.m. and you've been up since 3:30 by 8 a.m, it's definitely beer o'clock because you've been up for 4 or 5 hours.
True.
But when I've only been up for an hour and a half, it's a bit tricky. Worked into the leg side with absolutely no timing. They've gone for a crazy second run and a better throw and a bit of scooting in a bit quicker for the man in the outfield, and they might struggle to get back for 2, but they did. That's really good running by Phil. So he moves on to 26 off 15, 33 for 1.
Mayank says hello, everyone.
Morning, Mayank, or evening.
Morning.
Must be like 2 a.m. for you, isn't it? East Coast up USA.
Yes.
I'm presuming Kelk is in. He's in Central. He's in Belgium, aren't you?
Europe.
Yeah.
So
So,
in Holland.
so it's normal.
Netherlands.
You can't call it Holland anymore. So that means that basically, isn't it just time to get up for work? Anyway.
It's about 8:30, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, it
that's
will
right.
be an hour and a half ahead. Short one for the Uber. Attempted pull by Phil Salt, gets nothing on it, and there is no run.
But bear in mind, Stephen works in academia, so that their hours of work are weird.
Well, yeah.
It's sort of
Oh,
whenever they want,
given-
isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's when the students sober up they get to talk to them.
Yeah.
Well, in my case, I never went into lectures, but
I didn't for most of mine
My
either.
brain neighbours with this says, "Good morning, wonderful GC. What's the news from the weather cave today? Asking for a friend interested in the GPL." I've got to say, the forecast is very similar to what it was on Saturday. So who knows?
well, yeah. No one had a chance of winning it the other day, did they? That one is 2 leg side by Carl Jameson, and Phil Salt whips it off his pads, finer this time, beats the man out in the deep, and will end the over with a 4. So that's 4 done. And England are on 37 or 33, one or the other.
Yeah. Well, Tony
Yeah.
Bishop makes a good point. He says, to be fair to Will, you do hit the ball down the ground, so the opposite direction should be up.
Thank you, Tony.
Rubbish.
Jay Grover points out somebody went for 650 the other day in the GPL. I think they thought it was an ADI.
Yes.
Mayank's rubbing salt into the wound and says, "Morning, Bear. Hope you enjoyed that Man U drubbing yesterday," because Mayank, of course, is a Man U fan.
Yeah, fuck off, man. It's early days. We're only 4 points behind. There's a long season ahead. I'm sure it'll
Stephen
click.
Kelk has a good point. He says, "Requested the Jingle Gods to do something with the Bears' overweight moustache." Comment.
Yeah. That one is 2 leg side by Duffy, and Bethel gets his first boundary as he whips it off his pads, beats the man short on a 45 inside the circle, and it will be 4 runs. I mean, and the first one, New Zealand first up pole, very tight lines today. They've got it, must be said, pretty wrong.
Yeah.
Bethel clears to his leg side, and Duffy decides not to deliver the ball, like he doesn't know what to do.
Is there something going on with the footholes?
Because it could be, I
they've
suppose.
pulled out a couple of times, and they are kind of falling over to the sides quite a lot as well, which kind of looks like they're, I don't know, looks like a foothold problem.
I think they're being blown off course.
Oh, well, he's got a top edge. Has that gone over the keeper? No, it hasn't. Oh, but it hasn't. Obviously, it's very windy up there because Tim Seifert has gone back, and it looks like it's swirled up there, and he's got himself in a horrible position. What should have been a catch has not been caught. Bethel gets away with one there. And it is one of these.
The pimps in the crib, ma. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Oh, yeah, he got nowhere near that. Ended up bouncing off his glove back into his face. In fact, off the heel of his hand. Probably should have gone at it with two hands. Jacob Duffy's not particularly happy. There's been a lot of drops by the Kiwis. That one is bashed up to mid-on by Salt. And they will get through for a single. A little bit of a misfield by Henry. It was hit hard.
Their fielding's been pretty ordinary, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Seifert got that totally wrong. I mean, it did. Yeah, I think it must have swirled up in the windy conditions.
And because it's cloudy, you'll lose it in the clouds.
Yeah.
Because the white ball and everything.
Little fluffy clouds. The orb.
Yes.
Short across Bethel. One for the over.
So, Bear, what's worse than a Man U fan?
Huh?
An Everton fan, maybe? Matthew Cullen says that was a brilliant hate watch as an Everton fan.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, I've always quite liked Everton, even though I'm a Liverpool supporter. I suppose not being an actual Liverpudlian doesn't bother me.
Right.
I don't know why I have such an affinity with Liverpool, but I suppose I was a big Beatles fan. That helps. Bethel gets inside, steps the leg. He kind of gets followed by Duffy, but he managed to still free his arms enough to get it over the top of mid-on. And it races down to the long-on boundary. It'll be 4 more.
Weren't they all Everton fans?
They might well have been. Good
Stephen
timing.
Kelk says, I shall not call us Holland except on football.
Always used to be Holland, but
is
now
actually Holland.
Well, yeah, but Holland is a province, isn't it? We found out recently.
Yeah.
That one is played out to cover. It's a bit of a misfield, and Bethel thinks about the single, but never on the misfield. That's the 5th over. That's me out. It's 47 for 1. Tones in.
Yeah. I'll do a couple of messages while we change over. Nick Vickers says, morning gorillas. Forgot this was on. Who was the wicket? Joss Butler was up before. Lockie says, why is England's Premier Bowler absent? Jay says, Mike and Bear, Man U and Liverpool, fuck's sake. Fair enough. And the next one is my crotch burns for whoever's on the socials. Good morning, Porthy.
Good morning,
You've been very quiet about Coventry's amazing run, but I guess you don't want to tempt fate.
There is this hubris concept which I'm keen to avoid.
Don't worry.
We are 10 games into a 46-game season at the moment.
You're playing Watford soon. You've guaranteed you 3 points. Right, it's going to be Michael Bracewell into the attack. Oh, what's the Bear done? He's shifted everything around. Why are we looking at the rotor? Let's have a look. Here we go. Michael Bracewell, the massive Bracewell cricketing dynasty of New Zealand, of which he is one. Here's his jingle.
Even if Michael Bracewell sturdily keeps wicket, knowing how the Kiwis pick teams, he'll be just 1 of 5.
Well, he's going to bowl to Phil Salt, who, despite the Bears' concerns about his vulnerability, it seems to be going rather nicely. Although he's bunted that straight back, almost through Bracewell. It's going to get him 4 runs and stops just in front of a giant KFC pillar and bucket. Otherwise, it might have skipped over the boundary board. What do you think of that bit of advertising, Forthy? It's like putting a great big KFC bucket on a plinth.
Well, one of the reasons I did stop going to the MCG for a while was the MCG bucket hat promotion when they played a silly jingle and everyone had to put a bucket of KFC on the head.
Oh, that's terrific from Phil Salt. Sorry to interrupt you. He'd stepped outside a leg, he shoveled it up and over cover and has got himself 4 more. I missed the last jingle because we were discussing the merits of KFC buckets and plinths, but here it is.
I'm looking over a ford.
And I haven't said hello to John. Hello, John. He's saying hello to us, but through the medium of mime, which is not necessarily helpful. Bracewell over the wicket. That's down leg. That's a swing to leg by Salt. It ends up going completely the opposite direction as he doesn't get a bat off it. It comes off his pad. They do take a quick single though, and it's 56 for 1. Phil Salt onto 39. Bethel onto 12. John, you can obviously hear us.
I think you can hear me now. I forgot to unmute myself.
Oh,
schoolboy error.
It is. Now, Kane Williamson, from his mystery medical condition, as they've been describing it, is going to be back for the ODIs, John. Down the track comes Bethel this time. Launches it high and handsome. Plenty of blue sky. If it was a golf ball and you were following the drive, it would still be in the air, and it arcs beautifully. And drops just over the boundary for 6 runs. He really leathered that, John.
That's a beautiful shot, actually.
2, 4, 6.
I think the 2 secrets of that were he got to the pitch of the ball and he didn't try and hit it too hard.
Beautifully summarised. Spot on. Well, he's got plenty off this over, or there have been plenty. He's got that as well. Has he got it far enough? I think he has, because that's looking solid. Pretty much exactly the same spot. 2 in 2, 12 off 2. Have we got? We've got one for 3 sixes in a row, haven't we?
I'm not sure he hit that one quite so well.
No, he didn't. There's a giant
but
crane.
But strangely, it actually went further.
It did, because it cleared the...
it actually cleared the advertising
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it did. So
Very
England
weird.
are motoring here beautifully. We're nearly the end of the power play. This has been pulled, and it's been pulled
and it's out.
Straight to Jimmy Neesham. His eyes lit up. He could see another maximum coming. It was more flat. It was pulled. It was pulled straight to short mid-wicket. And thank you very much to Jimmy Neesham. And England have lost Bethel. I don't know they'll be too concerned. They've got to the end of the power play. They're nearly on 70, and I think their whole mission has been just to crack on with things.
Yeah, I think that's a silly shot, though. That's a silly shot. You've just hit 2 sixes.
On your bike, mate.
I seem to recall Jimmy Neesham, who took the catch there, bowled a similar over in the last game, where he got absolutely hammered all over the ground and somehow snaffled a wicket right at the end.
Yeah, I think Bethel helped him a lot there, though. I mean, it's a ball that's further outside off. He's tried to fetch it.
Yeah.
He doesn't really need to. He's just hit 2 sixes. It's just poor decision making by Bethel, which is sometimes a criticism that's levelled at him.
Anyway, end of the power play, 68 for 2. Fourthie, any messages?
Yes, Mike Rochburns. Mike Rochburns, I'll say that again.
Yeah.
I'm watching this game on the TV and spectators having a great time. Do they charge for attending cricket in New Zealand? Stephen Kelp says, good question. Oh, yeah, do you want to answer that?
No, I was going to say they should be having a good time. I was going to make the point that I think the players appear to be having a good time as well. There seems to be a general light-hearted spirit to the whole proceedings, to me.
Yes, it's a bit like watching one of those Ocean's 11 films where the people on the set seem to be having a better time making the film than you do watching it sometimes.
Santner into the attack, around the wicket to the right-handed Phil Salt. Drops it, well, I thought just short of a length, but it was on to Salt fairly quickly, and he can really just guide it out to short cover, and there was no run. So Santner starts with a dot ball, which you almost expect. That would have been a wide probably, but it's been cut. It's been cut backward a point, and it's going to beat two pursuing fielders, one of which is the long-legged Kyle Jameson. It won't matter how long his legs are, he's not going to get that. And it's 4 runs.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Would that have been a wide, John, or would it have just
Yeah,
got away with
I
it?
think it would. He's actually done pretty well to reach that.
Well, he's not just reached it, he's slapped it away.
Well, exactly.
For 4.
Yeah.
In ambles, Santner, that's a better ball. Perfect. Had a little bit of drift, a little bit more air, and was just inside that line, and can just be defended by the old salty sea dog. And there was no run. 72 for 2, so in some ways it's been a very good start for England. I'm not sure they'll be overly concerned about the 2 wickets. That was defended again by Phil Salt, so an element of control coming back into things as you would expect from Mitchell Santner. The ambling Santner. We had quite an interesting discussion on Saturday, I recall, about who had slower run-ups. There's something Embry-like about him, isn't there? Oh, that's slapped away again. That was also wide of that mark and would have been a wide. Just a single. They're going to come back for 2 though. It's a horrible throw as well. Tim Seifert's not the tallest, and Robinson, not for the first time today, has put in a horrible throw. The Bear would say it's entirely down to his overweight moustache that is encumbering him. They seemed to decide they didn't want the second run, didn't they? And then they came back, John.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were encouraged to come back for the second run by the fact that New Zealand have thrown in very badly.
6 off the over so far. That's a better ball again. Thrown up, steered to point. They take a single. It's 75 for 2 after 7:40.
Yes, on the subject of slow run-ups, by the way, my vote would always go for Ray Inningworth. But you two, he almost went backwards sometimes if it was a stiff breeze as he came to the crease. Right, Stephen Kelk and Jay Grover have, in answer to Lockie Six's question as why is England's Premier Bowler absent, they agree he's gone to get married. JB says the slips are brought up. How do we refer for the opposite? Good existential question.
What you mean if they're sort of pushed back? If you bring the slips up, then you've got to push them.
Well, you bring the slips up,
push
so
them
they
down.
Go down?
Yes.
Not really.
But you don't. You just send them back, or you just push them
anyway,
back.
no one says we're sending the slips back, though, do we?
Bracewell, in he comes. That's speared into the leg side and thumps the pad of Salt, but he was outside the line of leg and all was safe. I've got a question for Stephen Kelk. Was it Stephen Kelk whose sister has just had the baby? But was it a boy or a girl? That's what I want to know.
Well, Stephen, if you haven't...
details being missed out here.
If you haven't got onto your commute yet in Limburg, province of the gods, then let us know.
That's pushed out to short cover. Well, he was asking if anyone had a grandchild out there, as he seems to be already matchmaking for the new baby. And obviously I do.
Poor child.
It's like medieval times, John.
Yeah.
Already trying to marry them off even though they've only just been born. That one's worked away by Harry Brook, the England captain. They're going to come back for 2. They're going to have to hurry though, and they hurry effectively, and Harry Brook has got himself off the mark, off the first ball he faced.
I was going to say, never mind about medieval times. We're in the Jane Austen era again, aren't we?
Are we? How so?
Trying to marry people off.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you not seen Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Bishop?
Well, I've read it.
Oh my word, that's very efficient.
A while ago, I must say. Brook has a swing and a miss. It was down leg. Is he going to be given as a wide? Now, what is that? I should have given it as a wide. He didn't. He's given it as a dot ball. How is that not a wide? Let's see. Harry Brook.
Did it come off the pad?
Steps
back.
Didn't
look like it did.
It didn't look like it touched anything. Brook kind of fell over in a heap. That's very strange and inconsistent. He plays that off the back foot as well. Misfielded at short mid-wicket. Sharp running by England. Well done, these two. That was a smart piece of work. Not quite so smart by, I think, Mitchell Santner, who's normally pretty reliable in the field. He looks like he might have the beginnings of a fledgling slug beneath his nose.
So that'll be his excuse then.
It's like the opposite of Samson. You start to grow one of these moustaches and takes all your power away. I was pondering that if Bear walked into a pub and met Merv Hughes and Dennis Lilly, whether he would be quite so forthcoming in his view of droopy moustaches. That one's nudged away. Russian Ravindra comes in from
to be fair, I think he might get away with it with Merv the Swerve. I'm not sure that Dennis Lilly would be quite so
80 for 2
amicable.
80 for 2. Well, that's true. 80 for 2 after 8. Brook on 3. Phil Salt going very nicely and fighting back from his somewhat insulting jingle. He's on 48 from the 30 he's faced. 40.
J-Bar the Pickleball King says, "Hey Ian, hello there. Will Reynolds, morning your grace. My crotch burns. Hello Mr. Love Sponge." Stephen Kelk says, "There's North Holland and South Holland, but I live in Limburg, province of the gods. We want to know about your grandchildren, not Dutch provinces, Stephen." Mayan gets our first win at Anfield in over a decade. If I don't gloat today, I might not again until the water wars have begun. And Jay Grover's delighted that Ian and Tony and John are on commentary. People with a geographical connection to their football is balm to the soul.
Do you know what he nearly... Well, firstly, Jay, Sheffield United beat us, of course, at the weekend. That's a horrible ball. Why didn't he just leave it? So he's plunked that straight to backward point. Has
for no run instead of wide.
Instead of... He could have got it. And this has happened 2 or 3 times in the last game. I think it's sort of wired into them these days. Every ball has to be smashed. They have to
play a shot at every ball. Yeah.
That one is driven. It's driven beautifully, muscly by Phil Salt. There's a man down there. It's the estimable Darryl Mitchell, one of my favourite cricketers.
I suspect
they take a single.
John and Tony, they're probably told from an early age, don't overthink it. If it's there to be hit, just hit it. Don't fuck around with double thinking of it could be a wide or not.
Well, I think that's true. It does look, the weather at the moment looks absolutely gorgeous there. I have some big, light and fluffy clouds. Plenty of blue sky still, but the floodlights are on.
Don't jinx it, Mr. Vic.
Down the track comes Harry Brook. He's flamingoed this. He's launched it.
Oh,
I think he's launched it into the Hadley Pavilion. And he's not surprisingly, given that that's how far it went, gone for a maximum. It's absolute thumper.
It might have landed on the roof. It landed on the roof. In fact, it cleared the roof, didn't it? Gosh, huge.
Santner in. That's been ramped. It's the Beetle ramp. Is it going to go all the way? Yes, it is. There is no fine leg. So it's 10 off 2 for, in the most enterprising manner too, from Harry Brook. That one just 4, but...
4 on the floor,
well,
and one more 4 than the 4 before.
One day,
that's
John, someone's going to play that shot
to get funky on the dance floor.
Catch their stumps with the back leg as they tumble,
or smash them with the bat, perhaps.
But 11 from the over. Rather a shock to the Santner system. He's not so used to getting that kind of treatment. That is the arm muscle that went into that. That is over the roof of the Hadley Pavilion into those Hadley horticultural grounds, and even Harry Brook can't believe it. He's having a laugh with Phil Salt going, how on earth did that happen?
It's a pretty rank delivery, to be fair.
Not quite Harry Trott, but he has cleared a pavilion.
But he absolutely spanked it over the top. It's bounced on the roof.
Right,
disappeared into the trees.
I better give him the 6 jingle. Here we go. What a shot! And Mitchell Santner and Rashin Ravindra deep in conversation, going, right, what are we going to do to stop them doing this? What have we got? 12, 16, 17 off this over so far. There's still a ball left. It's 97 for 2 for England. Brook has raced in the grand manner onto 19. And England at the moment, in fact, they've lost the ball.
Well, they've lost the
and
ball.
They've got to replace
they've got to get another one because that's disappeared into the outer reaches. So
sometimes this works in the favour of the fielding side or the bowler, doesn't it?
Well,
in test matches.
In test matches, true. Let's see what happens. In rolls Santner. Brook waits, cuts beautifully this time. Just for 2. They're going to have to hurry that 2, though. And again, it is a most
No, they're not, because it's an
throw.
absolutely hideous throw from Robinson.
It's Robinson, Slugman has done it again. It's an absolute shocker of a throw. It's 99 for 2. Get rid of that Tash lad, and we'll hand over to Forthy.
Yes, right. My phone app says quite a bit of rain in Christchurch starting in about 1 hour. Look forward to that. Jay Grover says the water wars have been on for a bit. Gemma says hello to John. Good morning from Rhubarb. And Jay's delighted to see John as well. Such a treat to enjoy live cricket. We've got another super chat from Jay. Don't know whether you want to cue him up.
I can certainly do that. Marketing 2, short super chat jingle.
YouTube Prime Super Chat.
And Jay agrees about Ocean's 11, that they had more fun making it than we had watching it, I assume.
Right, it's going to be Bracewell again. I'll tell you something about that Bracewell family in a minute when I get the chance. He's bowling to Phil Salt. It's an awful, horrible, dreadful, sloppy piece of shite down leg side. And he started with a wide. I can't be bothered to jingle it because I was looking up some information
which
about
Mr. Salt tried to smash into next week. And
well, he had missed. Yes.
Didn't get hold of. Yeah.
It's pretty ugly cricket all round. That's a better ball from Bracewell. Onto the back foot goes
with
Salt. Oh, he's driven this past mid wicket down to actually sort of a wide deep or a wide long on. It's Darryl Mitchell Fields, and it brings up an excellent 50 for Phil Salt, who, despite his jingle and possibly a bit of luck early on, has nonetheless played quite magnificently. I'm just looking for millstones. Here they are. We'll have this one.
Don't stop just cause you got to 50. Don't stop. Treat it as a
Bracewell. Oh, that's clever.
You can use this to get a better score. The first
Wide of
50's
off
done. The first 50's
So
done.
just left the bat sort of hanging out at a slight angle. Just to dab it for a single to short third. He's pulling out all the tricks. It's a combination of strength and technique in all sorts of ways here, John.
Well, he's very inventive, isn't he?
Phil Salt has taken advantage of the fact that they took a single just to steer that one away around the corner. He's got himself 4, and England move on to 106 for 2. Yeah, that Bracewell family, he's the nephew of John and Brendan, son of first-class cricketer Mark, whilst his uncle Douglas William, there were 2 Douglases in the family, he played for Canterbury. That's thumped along off, they'll just get a single. Cousin Douglas Andrew is currently playing for Essex.
They have a decent game in the back garden after Christmas lunch, that family.
Oh, well, I would imagine they will.
Yeah, they would, yeah.
And you can throw into the little Bracewell mix that his other cousin is Melanie Bracewell, who I think is the daughter of Douglas. That is a big shout, and it's given. Oh, well, it's a traditional old leg side strangle. Harry Brook's gone.
Well, he's reviewed it, I think, immediately.
Think he's reviewed. Yes, he has. 107 for 3. Harry Brook doesn't seem remotely troubled, although he's taking his gloves off, but then so is Phil Salt.
Tony, we were a bit behind on messages.
Oh, well,
shall I take this opportunity?
Pick a few while we wait for the review, yeah. Go for it.
Rich Turner says, morning all, these early starts are a shock to the system. Stephen Kelk, hello Forthy, guardian of the Cathedral of the Eternal Melodies. Oh, lovely stuff, Stephen.
Oh, I like that.
Will you poetic smoothie and so early in the morning, says to Stephen, who bows. Jay just says, no Tony, which I think is a generic one that he has in his back pocket. Will Reynolds, you do send the slips and the keeper back Forthy, I suppose that is true. And
no
Stephen
Tony.
Kelk says, I wasn't aware I had a sister. It was Kieran Roseblade, says Stephen Kelk.
Okay, it was Kieran.
Funny.
Well, the same
Rhubarb.
question. The same question.
Same question.
Very good.
Same question. I don't know why you couldn't answer it, Stephen, and just, manned up. Rhubarb says, I've read it. Mic drop. Lockie 6. In the interests of international relations, the child should be betrothed to a Dutch noble. Well, unfortunately,
true.
I think that message arrived a little out of sync with developments there.
We're still waiting for the decision of third umpire Wayne Boogie Nights, and Brooke is in deep conversation with umpire
He is, yeah.
Cock. It was an interesting one because he definitely followed it, trying to turn it around the corner. And the main view of the camera we're looking at is from the front, which means that as the bat follows the ball, you don't really have the chance. You need the side-on view to see if he touched it. But surely they've got Sticko, haven't they?
Well, it's either the under edge or nothing, because his gloves weren't anywhere near it. It sounds to me like the equipment might not be working.
Well, if the equipment's not working, I know the umpires.
Then you have to stay with the umpire's decision, do you?
Here's the view with Ultra Edge. They've managed to get Ultra Edge, and as far as I can see there,
absolutely
unless it gets some glove, we're seeing frame by frame by frame by Sondheim.
Well, it's gone past the gloves now.
It's now past everything.
Well, I think it's flicked the top of the pad.
May have just flicked the top of the pad.
I think it's flicked the top of the pad.
He was outside leg anyway, so
and that may well have been the sound that was heard.
Yes,
well,
I
Harry
hope
Brooks
to God
survives.
hope they don't spend the next 10 minutes going over the LBW possibility. Because
Well,
it's
yeah,
about
exactly.
yards wide.
Well, while we're looking at that, I know both of you gentlemen are into your football as well as your cricket. Have you noticed that in the Under-20s World Cup, at which a Watford player, I might point out, was the player of the tournament, they've been using a review system quite similar to cricket? So literally the managers can have two reviews which they can play if they don't like a decision. And in exactly the same way as cricket, if the referee agrees, i.e. gives a penalty when the manager thought it should have been a penalty, we'll wait for Bracewell, flicked off his legs by Harry Brooke, out to mid-wicket. They'll just take a single, I think, on this occasion. They will. The score moves on to 110-4-2. Then obviously, so if the referee agrees with the decision, say gives the penalty, then you retain the review. If not, you lose the review. So instead of just purely VAR and going to VAR, you're leaving to a certain degree in the hands of the managers, which means ultimately you should get less interruption because they've only got two they can play.
Yes, I mean, my first reaction very quickly to that is a manager's got a much more imperfect view than a wicket-keeper or a first slip.
That is very true.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And that is just steered to long off. It's 110-4-2. I would say in a football crowd, 50,000 people have got a lesser view, and yet most of them can tell you decisions pretty well. Often better than a referee can.
Indeed. But there we go. I'm going to hand back over to Messi. I'm sort of a little bit behind Messi.
That's okay, mate. There's a drinks break now, so we can catch up with a few of the menu.
Okay, I'll hand over.
And I was going to say, Forth, I actually put it in the comments that it's quite possible that we have more fun creating guerrilla cricket than our listeners do hearing us as well.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, about 50-50. About 50-50. Right, I'll see you in 5 overs' time. Bye for now.
Cheers, Forthy.
Cheers. So EB says, look, I've been a fan of moustaches, but after three of my boys sports them now, can I really complain? To which Jay says, well, you've failed as a parent and as a human. That's harsh. That is harsh, Jay. One cannot control one's children as they get old enough to grow moustaches. In fact, they may do it as a sign of rebellion against control. Kieran says, in an unprecedented move, can Forthy show us what the picture is behind him? Oh, well, we'll have to ask him to do that later. EB says, Robinson's Mo is actually pretty good. Rhubarb points out it's almost Movember.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
And Kieran says, I'll answer this, Tony. No one has noticed that because no one watches the Under-20 Soccer World Cup at which a Watford player did a good job.
Well, I watched it. Thank you very much.
That is harsh. Lockie6 says, moustaches just make them look like perverts. Rhubarb says, football managers use instant replay on an iPad. And to which Kieran says, what's wrong with moustaches making them look like perverts? I actually really like what you're talking about in terms of reviews in soccer. It makes sense to me to have some sort of control. I hear you people go on and on and on about VAR, and it just seems to interfere with the game so much. I think DRS on the whole is pretty good, if only it could speed up a little bit.
Well, this is like DRS. It's the football version of DRS, which I think was quite.
And the other thing is, in the Women's World Cup, they've got a sort of speedy DRS thing where the on-field umpire will talk to the third umpire about, say, a run-out and give a signal without doing all the fucking endless displays on the screen. If the off-field umpire the third umpire has the capacity to be able to make that decision for him really quickly, and it speeds things up considerably. So I think things are moving forward. I would like to see specialist third umpires, to be honest, because I think there are some things like when there are snicks and so on in terms of being able to interpret what's coming through. But beyond that, I think the cricket system isn't too bad.
Well, we're about to get started again, I think, after the mid-innings drink stop. So Phil Salt is retaking his guard, and Jameson is on and into him, and it's played out square on the offside. The fielder comes in, actually manages to locate the wicket-keeper with his throw, which is a collector's item in this New Zealand innings.
Well,
it's just one.
It's been one fielder who's been particularly guilty.
Yeah, Robinson's been particularly dreadful, but there has been lots of sort of fumbles and misfields in other places as well. It's not been a good performance in the field at all.
It's also a clever slower ball, I thought, by Jameson. It really took the pace off that, and it kind of floated its way into the off stump of
Here
Harry
he is again, and this is driven by Brooke out through extra. It's just going to be one. This fielder comes in off the fence. I was commentating on a match last night, Tony. I was commentating on the Real Madrid match, and another ex-Watfordite, Alan Neom, became a candidate for the fastest sending off of all time.
Watford, you train him well.
I don't recall he had a particularly illustrious career.
No, I don't think he did.
Watford.
But he was sent off after less than a minute.
Oh, that's
Here comes Jameson and bowls, and this is swung over the top of mid-off. One bounce four. Very belligerent shot from...
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
Such strength in those arms, but it's also timing. I am sure when Brendan McCullum organises the post-game trip tomorrow to go and play a bit of golf, Phil Salt's got to be a golfer, because he's got a real golf swing.
That was like a 6-iron, wasn't it? He just sort of drifted it over the top. It's a lovely shot. He's gone to 61. He waits for Jameson again and swings this one away. It's a full toss, and he's sent it down to mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket. Just the one run. 117 for 2. In Mr. Neom's defence, it was for a foul on Vinicius Jr., who launched at him like an Exocet missile and then managed to fall forwards from making contact with an arm.
What was the result in the end?
Real Madrid won 1-0. It was 0-0 at the time when he got sent off, and they scored about a minute later.
So they won with 10 men for the whole game?
Well, no, Neom was sent off in the second half.
Right.
Oh, it was the start of the
after he
second
came
half.
on as substitute. It was a bit of a Steven Gerrard incident from a few years back. Very unjust red card, I might add. Salt here. Well, Brooke here paddles one over the wicket-keeper. He stepped outside off stump by about 2 yards and sort of tried to scoop it over the wicket-keeper's head. Didn't get hold of it properly. Just going to pick up one.
Doesn't stop him trying, though. Harry Brooke does. You sense he enjoys bringing out the full gamut of trick shots and
I think with him
paddles.
it's almost, what shot can I play to this ball that nobody else would. It just becomes a sort of story of invention where he's concerned, but he's gone to 25 rapidly. Here's Jameson again into Salt, and he's hooked at that one. It was a bouncer. It's not been given as a wide, so it's a dot ball to end the over. Phil Salt looks at the umpire as if to say, "Are you sure?" But nothing given for that. So 117 for 2 at the end of the over.
Jay Grover pulls me up saying, "You people." I was referring to you people who talk about soccer during our cricket coverage. It's just... I'm not one of them. Matthew Cullen says, "How much do we need to super chat to get the bear to grow a moustache for November?" Wow. Jay says, "I'd find the belly dance less offensive." Rhubarb says the super chat has to be enough to buy Taylor Swift tickets. Mog's with us. He says, "Hello there, gentle knobs." I have to say, Mog, your Hagley Oval jingle was superb.
Certainly was.
It got a run early on. Matthew Cullen says, "Just trying to imagine the belly dance with a moustache added in. The image is quite vivid and frankly revolting."
You wouldn't know where to look first, would you?
I don't think I'd want to look at
the
all.
moustache might detract from the belly. Right, here's a new bowler.
We'll teach 'em, Jimmy Neesham, unleash.
And here is Neesham, and this is slapped away, and it's going to go for 4, square of the wicket. For a moment there, I didn't think he got hold of that.
In the name of God.
But this is how he started the last game. He bowled an over of absolute filth. And even the ball that I recall, didn't he... who did he get in the last game? Might have been Harry Brook, actually, playing across the line. I might have remembered that wrong. I'll double check my facts.
Well, that's
but he
away
bowled
for
a stinker
4.
of an over and still walked away with a wicket. I definitely remember that.
Well, he's in again, and Brook sort of plays this behind the wicket. There's a shot at the stumps by the keeper, and wow, I think that might have been out if it had hit.
It was Harry Brook, and I'm pretty sure he bowled him from my memory.
It was
He took 1 for 20.
It was an attempted scoop by Brook. He set off immediately. I think Salt would have been short of his ground had that hit. The two batsmen are having a bit of a conflab in the middle of the wicket. But yeah, just a little bit off with the radar with the shy at the stumps. And therefore Phil Salt is still with us and ready to face Neesham. Neesham's in, and Salt, well, he's well, it's not even a top edge, is it, over the sort of slip area? He sort of backed away a little bit and played it off the face of the bat.
It's an uppercut.
Yeah, it's beautifully executed.
It's a deliberate shot.
6. Oh no, sorry.
No, it was a 4. It did bounce before the rope. But England have raced on to 127 for 2 in the 12th over. Salt waits again on 66. Here's Neesham, and Salt plays this out into the leg side. They're just going to amble 1 on this occasion. Throw comes in. 128 for 2. Salt 67 from 42 now.
He went at 10 and over in the last game, did Neesham? He's 20
30 off 13.
Harry Brook's been in impish form. Clearly having fun.
And it's a no ball as well. Just
Jesus
to add
Christ.
to Neesham's
Jimmy.
discomfort. And he's got a real teapot on about that. He's got both hands on hips. So the free hit is played over the top of cover and away for 4 again.
Did that bounce over cover, John, or did it go straight over cover?
He might have played it into the floor and over cover's head.
Let's
have a look at this again.
I think
it came off the toe end of the bat and sailed over the top of cover's head.
I did. Well,
he was pretty close to it. Tried to pull it out the sky. It wouldn't have been out, obviously, because it was a free hit. But
one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And this is hoisted again over extra cover. That's going to be 4 more. They're not going to catch that. I think that's 21 off the over.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, this is pretty merciless from England. I think that is 21 off the over.
Yeah, it's very
They
poor
race
formation.
on. Goodness me.
But these two are well set. And
What a shit show.
not only
eh?
are they well set, they are just they're in a mood to improvise. You could sense England are just.
I think you've gone to an ad break a ball early because they haven't allowed for the no ball in the over.
Yeah, we do.
So I can tell you Jimmy Neesham is about to come in and bowl again.
That's a bowling.
And there you go.
And that's spooned away. The fielder did reach it just behind square. It was a reverse sweep from Brook, which gives him another run. So 22 off the over in the end. Well, this is pretty merciless from England.
Yeah. Stephen Kelk's trying to stir Mogg up. He just says, Mogg, minus, disgust. To which Jay Grover says, he's just a Bradman fact. To which Matthew Cullen says, is it fear or arousal, Jay? Or both? JB says, many of our finest dictators have tashes. It's interesting, actually. People refer to the David Boone moustache, but not the Joseph Stalin moustache, which are pretty fucking similar.
Well, they might have been similar. I think they were, getting incredibly pissed on a flight with however many was it. and
it's better than killing 50 million people.
Of people. Possibly, I could see why you might avoid Stalin, to be fair.
Yeah. Mogg says my thoughts on Marnus are very much on record. Marnus will definitely be playing in the first test. He's scored 4 centuries in the last month, and he's unbearably good form. Even if I can't stand
form. First ball of the next over is hoisted high and straight.
Oh!
And it's dropped. It's dropped.
For fuck's sake!
Dropped at deep mid on, and they race back for 2.
Shocker.
Jimmy Neesham.
It's Jimmy Neesham.
He's having a
good day, Jimmy.
Oh my word! Neesham's decided to take on Robinson for the worst fielder out there. He got too far underneath that. He got right into position, got it into both hands, and spilled it. Well.
Shocking.
The pimps in the crib, ma. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
When you've just been tonked for 22 off your first over, you really don't want that first ball up at the next over, do you?
This one is pulled away into the leg side to cow cornerish, and they just take 1. Well, Matt Henry won't be very impressed with Jimmy Neesham's fielding, because that's cost him a wicket. The mood that Brook is in, I'm not sure that was a terribly wise thing to have done. He gets right into position. He's in the perfect position to catch it. Palms down, and he just spills it.
I mean, TV pictures are really hard to judge what light is like. I mean, even despite the floodlights, it somehow looked a slightly gloomier corner of the ground, but I'm not sure you could blame
Here's Henry again. This is a full toss. Pulled again, out to cow corner. The fielder's got to move around this time, so they've got plenty of time to get back for 2. 143 for 2 in the 13th over. England crunching along at more than 11 and over. Well,
I reckon New Zealand have been really put off their game by England's aggression. They've been sloppy in bowling and fielding, haven't they?
Do we know what the average T20 score on this ground is, batting first?
Yes, we do. I'm glad you asked me that.
Cut away to the man behind square.
154 in the last 12 completed ODIs.
Well, they're going to beat that unless there's a mother and father of a collapse.
The last 5 completed, T20Is, 144. That will have edged up slightly, possibly, after England's 153, did they get? Domestically, 146.
Which they've almost got in the 13th over. Here's Henry again. That's a good ball. That's a Yorker from Henry, which is dug out by Brook back to the bowler.
And it's very much a bat second ground as well. Team batting second in T20Is wins nearly 70% of the time. But
if they don't bowl a bit better, they'll have to make a mother and father of a score to keep up that record. Brook facing again, tapping his bat in the crease. as Henry comes in, and this is short and pulled away
above
over cow corner. That's another one that's gone out the ground.
That's in the park. That is in that park over the Hagley.
Can we have our ball back, please?
I don't think they're going to bother looking
well,
for
maybe
it.
not. No. I think the ball box will be out again.
One of these.
Smack it in the air, beyond the boundary. Smack it in the air.
I mean, I don't suppose they send a bloke out into the park with a torch, poking around looking for a cricket ball, do they?
No, that might get him into some trouble, you would fancy. Well, Henry's cross with himself, but I mean, it was dross. The ball was dross, and Brooke dispatched it. 150 for 2 off 13 overs.
Okay, so pretty good run rate. Imagine how good it would be if the lad was playing, says Lockie. Rhubarb says Pakistan have suddenly become good at Test cricket again. Yeah, they're 95 for 1 lunch after 30 overs against South Africa.
Santner gets away with a filthy delivery down the leg side, which Salt swings at and misses. It hits him on the pad and just dribbles out a few yards on the onside. That was a filthy delivery from Santner. This one is full and it's bunted down the ground.
83, I think, this
fielder
partnership.
Comes round from wide mid-on to throw it back in. Just a single. 151 for 2. Yeah, 83 in not very many balls, I would warrant. Santner now to Brooke.
45.
In he comes. Well, he follows him down the leg side because Brooke backed away to leg.
Rubbish.
And he's just played it out on the leg side for a single. I think Brooke might feel that he missed out on that somewhat.
Yeah, it was shit.
152 for 2.
Jay assures us that his hatred of Marnus is based on fear rather than arousal.
There is Santner, and that's another filthy delivery which is swung away behind square on the leg side. Fielder has some ground to make up. They scamper back for 2. Well, it was good running by the English pair.
There's a better throw from Ravindra as well than some of the other throws we've been seeing coming in. Largely Tim Robinson being the culprit.
I'm going to give Santner the benefit of the doubt and say that he's followed the batter the last couple of balls, but he's in again. This is short as well. Slapped out to mid-off and they run through for a quick single. Measham didn't pick the ball up particularly cleanly. 155 for 2. This is almost a triumph this over. They've only conceded 5 runs in 5 balls. So from a New Zealand point of view, a vast improvement. Not that I think the over's been anything to write home about, but Santner's coming in to complete it. Brooke 49, he wants 1 for 50.
He only went for 1 for 20 off his 4 in the last game, Santner, so
Santner's in, and this is just pushed out to wide mid-on, and Brooke goes to 50 from 22 balls.
Yeah.
Well, Santner got out of jail with only 5 of that over. That's ridiculous. So Will Reynolds says, Marnus makes me feel sick with rage, to which Jay says, well, never mind the Dominion theology, he puts cheese toasties in the fridge. Yeah, it doesn't get much worse than that, does it? Jay says he's discovered that Duckett may in fact not be 5'8", to which Stephen Cook says, yeah, he's 5'7", so I'm an inch and a half taller than him. But Lockie says, for what he lacks in height, he more than compensates for with talent, grit and good hygiene. And Jay says, I've heard he's 5'6".
He's getting smaller by the second.
He's getting smaller and smaller.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
a wide from Jameson. That's a wide. That was almost a no ball, wasn't it?
No, not quite, but it would have been a test wide, I reckon.
Goodness me.
Shocking.
That only just about found the cut strip. Oh my word. Yep, that was a wide in Test cricket, that one. Dear me. Well, this is dross from the New Zealand bowlers, it has to be said. Here's Jameson again. And this is launched high into the air. This is going to be another 6. That's another one out the ground.
Somebody in that park. You know when kids go looking for golf balls? I used to do that when I was a kid over Rickmansworth and Moore Park. And then used to sell them back to the Golf Pro shop. Somebody must be out there making an absolute fortune in used cricket balls because it's been raining into the park.
Yeah, they'll be being sent out early tomorrow morning. They'll get them out of bed, going looking for some cricket balls. 163 for 2.
When was
to 56?
Oh, it was an ODI in the Netherlands, wasn't it? In Amstelveen. When England rattled up an absolutely massive score. And, you know, they lost. They reckon they lost about 700 or 800 quid's worth of cricket balls in the Amstelveen woods.
Goodness me.
To keep digging them out of that box of balls that comes out onto the pitch here.
I don't know how this happens, but you know, even though Duckett's not playing, we've got a long discussion about his height going on. Will Reynolds reckons he was put on a hot wash and shrunk to 5'6".
Oh, yes.
Matthew Cullen reckons 5'6" is great height.
Giant amongst men.
Here is Jameson again. He's in and Brooke. Well, I don't know how he's got that ball to there.
What the fuck?
He's going to get. No, he's not.
He went to play it out on the. He went to play it out on the legs on the offside with a reverse sweep, and it squirted down behind square on the leg side.
It was a reverse scoop, I think he was trying, and just hit the
he's
toe
trying
of
to
the
play
bat.
it over the wicket keeper.
Yeah,
and it's well, I think it's hit the outside edge, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's squirted beyond the fielder. He's readjusting the handle of the bat after that shot.
Yeah,
well, that was extraordinary to get it into that position. Well, they came back for 2, which took Brooke to 58. 165 for 2. Well, that was taking invention to a whole new level. Was that?
I wonder if they're going to rue that drop when he was on 40.
Here's Jameson again, and well, that's a good ball. I haven't said that very often. It got Brooke in about 4 minds as to what he was going to do with it, and in the end it just went back along the pitch to the bowler. He played it off the toe end of the bat into his foot. In the end, did Brooke. So a rare dot ball. I haven't seen many of those in this innings so far. Still 3 to come in the over, and 13 from it already. So how many can England get here, chaps?
Well, we're going to have 230.
Yeah, 230. That's a pretty decent stab, I would suggest.
I mean, the GPL
Jameson
will have been
is
open.
Pulled away, hooked away. That's going to go in the crowd as well. Round by Cow Corner. Another 6 for Harry Brooke.
One toke over the line, sweet Jesus. One toke over the line.
I think New Zealand are going to need Jesus if they keep bowling like that.
Well, our top GPL prediction is 467. So if they make 233 and New Zealand beat it by 1 run, that person will win. That I suspect is Ombre Nuevo, who likes the 7s.
Well, this is in the air. Has he got enough of this? Well, it's landed between fielders.
Yeah.
It's been thrown back in, and Brooke gets 2. He was slightly fortunate there because he skewed it up off the outside edge of the bat, spooned into the cover region, and fielder running back couldn't quite get back quick enough. He was never in contact with the ball. Well, they've added 105 this pair now. 173 for 2. 1 more to go in the 15th over, and then we're going to have a switcheroo, I think. Here's Jameson to complete the 15th over, and it's driven back over his head. And 1 bounce and 4.
Jeez.
My goodness me.
1 and 2 and 3 and
21 off the over.
21 off the over again. 177 for 2. Off 15
I'll do a couple
overs.
of message. I'll do a couple of messages while we change. Mayank says, talking about height, do you remember South African-born Kiwi wicketkeeper Kruger van Wyk? He was 4'9", played back in 2010 to 12 for New Zealand. Guy looked like a miniature doll. Yeah, I think he's the smallest recorded international cricketer. Lockie Six says the incredible shrinking Duckett, great 60s sci-fi. He'll be 4'10" by the time the Ashes starts. And Jay says, one of my idiot pleasures is seeing height mismatches in batting partners. Gavaskar and Garner, Jefferson and Taylor. No clue why it makes me happy. I love it. It's like at Lord's watching Rabada and Jansen next to each other. It's just...
Yes, it's a not Rabada, isn't it? It's Jansen and the South African captain.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Yeah,
I do remember seeing Bavuma, exactly. I do remember seeing Peterson, Kevin Peterson, and James Taylor.
Yes.
They batted for a while in a test match. That was quite amusing. That's the biggest discrepancy. The Tony Gregg and Alan Knott used to bat together quite often. That was always quite funny as well. Right, back into the action.
See you later, chaps.
See you later.
Mitchell Santner into the attack. He's got clouted. It's gone all the way down to deep square, and it's another 4. This time to Phil Salt.
Now my innings going. Great guns. I hit the ball. 4 runs. I hit the ball, and it went for 4 runs.
Well, England should easily beat the highest T20 score ever at this ground, which is 208 by New Zealand.
What's England's top T20 score? I expect we know, don't we?
Well, it was over 300, wasn't it? We just got it against...
Oh, yes.
Was it against the West Indies?
Yeah, it was something out of this outrageous. We're not going to do that, but this is going to be a mighty score. That's just tickled round the corner for a single by Phil Salt. Gets Harry Brook back on stride. It's not often the man who's 79 off 50 gets overshadowed, but Harry Brook's 70 off 28 at the moment.
It's ridiculous. He's clouting everything so far as well. It's hilarious.
He's back on strike. He's launched that one. He's missed it. It's come off his body. They think about a single. They decide against it. A rare dot ball. The partnership is 114 off 58.
Well, 3 sixes, he'd get 100 off what? 34 balls.
They're basically going at 2 a ball. Never mind 2 and over. In comes Santner around the wicket. Goes a little wider, and that's scooped. I think deliberately just down the ground for the single. Don't know why he didn't really follow through on the shot. Decided not to. Just the single. Salt back on strike. This has been a successful over so far.
No, KFC really have it sewn up down under, don't they?
A lot of KFC about. We don't. We don't have Burger King in Australia. We have
Hungry Jacks.
Hungry Jacks because they wouldn't agree to change the name on the franchise. Hungry Jacks. That's gone for a single out to the sweeper on the leg side. So this is fairly sedate over. 4-1.11 so far.
What do you mean they wouldn't agree to change the name on the franchise? But surely it was Burger King to start with, wasn't it? Or just, they took over something.
Burger King took over Hungry Jacks, and everywhere else in the world they had to change the names, but he refused to change the name. Whoever's in charge of Hungry Jacks said, all right, well, we'll take all your profits, you keep the name then, whatever. And that's a single to complete the 2 to complete the over, and England move on to 186 for 2 off 16.
Stephen Kelk says, just like you can compute bowling speeds from video these days, surely we can authoritatively measure the height of the lad. Then we will have an official reference for 1 DMU. What's DMU? Decision-making unit in my
It is in marketing, I was going to say. Decision-making unit.
Duckett measurement unit?
It's something like that. We've been using it for a year or so.
Rhubarb WD says Duckett and Crawley should be a pair on Strictly. Oh, I'd love to see that. That would be quite. So I wonder what they'd dance. What would they, if Crawley and Duckett were a Strictly pair?
Samba.
Would it be a samba, would it? Right, let me see. England very good, New Zealand very poor, said Messrs. Matthew Cullen says, Bear, there seems to be overwhelming public support for you to shave the beard and then grow a moustache for Movember. How big a super chat for you to do that?
£2,000.
There's your price. There it is. Collectively, a collective £2,000.
No, a single £2,000 super chat from somebody.
Oh, I think that's
because it's not happening.
Salt facing up to Duffy and slightly mistimed by Salt. Bunts it to the offside and they saunter through for a single. Well, I think, a nation awaits. We'd love to see that.
Well, the only way I'd have a tash is I'd have to have, one with big bits coming down the side of my mouth, so it's almost a beard. I fucking hate tashes.
Do you? That's interesting.
But you have a tash.
Well, I have, but it's connected to a beard.
Yeah.
In comes Duffy. If I was a psychologist, tell me about, what how your mother felt about moustaches.
Did your mother have a beard?
No.
Did your mother have a moustache?
My dad had a tash at one point.
Did he?
Yeah.
What about that weird uncle? Did he have a moustache?
Weird uncle.
The one who made you put a ferret down your trousers. Did he have a moustache?
I think we're getting somewhere.
I'll bet he did.
I think we've made a lot of progress in this session.
Uncle Gerald.
Duffy into Salt, who launches it. Just a smear, really, to in between the two sweepers on the leg side boundary, and they decide on 2 collectively.
They could both get tons here, couldn't they?
They could. It's just calmed down a touch in the last couple of overs, but it's all relative.
Yes.
122 from 64. The partnership. That sounded like something being opened. It's early for a beer. Salt facing up to Duffy. Takes a step down the wicket and cross bats it down to long on. They come through for a single. The boring middle overs.
I was going to say, I need a 6 to keep me awake here.
That's right, yes. I got myself off dinner duties tonight. I've swapped with Jamie because I'm commentating.
Oh, what's he preparing?
Yeah, what is he preparing?
Well, we get something called Marley Spoon, so we pick a recipe, and we get 4 of those a week. And that's a clever ball, actually, wide, but not quite a wide, and completely missed by Harry Brook, who feels a bit cross with himself for missing out on that.
Is that a recipe book? That's a wide. That went outside the line.
Was a wide, actually. It was a wide. Come on, that's a wide. And you get recipe cards with it. 4 recipe cards come in the big box on a Monday, and then we have to work out. Yeah, it's a good system. It's good food as well. It's quite complex to cook, but that's a wide as well. Come on, that's
He's
a
given
wide.
that one. I think that's Corey Black, the 45-year-old who was born in Scotland. That might explain some anti-England decisions. Although he is a New Zealander, but he was born in Invercargill.
So it's called something different over there. I can't remember what it's called here. They advertise it on TV all the time where you get it in a box and they send you the recipes.
Hello Fresh?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we have that over here as well, though.
Yeah, but it's called Marley Spoons over there.
Oh,
Or is it called Hello Fresh?
We also have Hello Fresh. It's a rival organisation, but we prefer Marley Spoon. Other delivery systems are available. That would have been a wide, but instead it's been chipped for one of these by Harry Brook.
That was an outrageous shot.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
He completely lost shape there, lost his balance, and still managed to get it out in the middle of the bat over through to a vacant sort of wide long off.
So 10 off the over, which is a minor victory for New Zealand.
Mayank, I'm convinced KFC is bigger in New Zealand and Australia than in the US. When I was there, it was everyone's go-to.
What, KFC? I love a KFC. Although, we went to France and we had KFC because we had a lot of Burger Kings. Burger King in France is really good, actually. But you can't get gravy in France. And if you can't have gravy with a KFC, that's it. Done. Not having it.
Here's a suggestion for Crawley and Duckett's.
Dancing
music. Well, they've suggested the music rather than the dance they would do to it. It Ain't Cricket by Duckworth the Lewis Method is Angrish's suggestion, would be their Strictly song.
Jameson into Salt. Salt takes 2 steps back. Jameson follows him, and I think, where has that gone?
It's gone to short, the man on 45, essentially.
Okay, very good.
Let me
if I can't have gravy, I don't want no KFC, baby.
Exactly. Did I have gravy? Did he have gravy or KFC down in...
Well, we only get grilled, which is the ethical burgers when we get a burger, which obviously costs about 10 times as much, but that's the kind of people we are. It actually tastes a lot better.
What, KFC? They don't do grilled burgers, do they?
No, Grilled. It's the name of the outfit.
Right.
GRILLD. It's a ethical burger company, and that's Hoikt.
Good catch.
And down the catch of the man coming in off the boundary. Oh, and finally,
the slug has taken over.
The slug.
Sluggers.
Fights back.
New Zealand have actually caught one, and it's the end of Harry Brooks. So no century for him. England 197 for 3, 2 balls into the 18th over.
That was a good catch. I mean, it was pretty flat. He didn't get the elevation on it, did he? But it was going pretty quick. And it's a good snaffle out in the deep by Tim Robinson.
Oh, shit. This is really fucking bad.
No.
Well, it's not really bad, is it? But, you know.
Not at this stage.
Not at this stage, 197 for 3.
78 off 35, wow. So I think you could say he's done his work for the day. Obviously, he needs to captain his side to defend the total, and it will be a big one.
Well, I mean, New Zealand haven't bowled very well, have they? I mean, they've given a lot of pretty easy balls, really. And it kind of set the tone in the first 3 or 4 overs. You've got to try and be tight in those first 3 or 4 overs, and they were going at 12 and over in the first 3, so it didn't go well from there.
Right, let me get some messages in, if I may. Salt to make a ton, says Jamar the Pickleball King. There's every chance of it. Tell Jamie I said hi, he also says. Or hello, Jamie. Duffy's bowling is Duff, says Rhubarb. Mr. Handjob of Melbourne says, how much will it cost for the bear to, and the rest is in big capital letters, eat his fucking hat when Salt makes a ton?
A lot, Mog. How much are you prepared to give me? I haven't got a hat, and I didn't say I'd eat one when he gets a ton. I just had a moan at him a couple of games ago, which he turned into a jingle. And to be fair, since you did that, he's done quite well, so it worked, you know. Reverse psychology and all that.
Into the new batsman, who is little Sam Curran, who has hoiked it straight away down to long on, and comes through for a single. I wonder if anyone's actually ever eaten their hat. I know Mr. Mange too, in the Guinness Book of Records, and I was fascinated by the fact he'd eaten a Cessna light aircraft over several years. But has anyone actually eaten their hat, I wonder?
Yeah, I remember that. That's quite famous, isn't it? But I mean, how the fuck do you eat a Cessna aircraft? I mean,
well, bit by bit. I don't think you can.
Well,
do it
but I mean,
you
you basically got to grind the metal up, haven't you, into a powder or something? I mean, you can't actually eat a bit of metal.
Even so, I mean, well, he did it over several years, but would you want to eat a Cessna light aircraft? And that's been taken on the boundary, and it looks like it's the end of Phil Salt. He was tottering on the edge of the boundary, the fielder, but he's managed to bring it in. Obviously, the umpires are going to say, well, don't go off just yet, Phil Salt. Let's see whether the foot was touching around.
I don't think Phil Salt's got
Phil
any
Salt's
doubt.
pretty convinced.
Yeah, there wasn't much going on. I thought he got that all the way, but he got just too much elevation, didn't he? He started walking off as soon as he hit it.
Actually, it's very well judged if he has.
Beautifully taken.
Yeah,
because it was.
Well, I have to say that little bit of rope actually is back a couple of. It's not quite straight around there, is it?
That's a very good spot.
He kicked it back before he caught it.
Well, there you go. Jay Grover says, fourthly, your domesticity disgusts me. Lockie 6 says, guerrilla psychotherapy is now a thing, God help us.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'd be that good at that.
A couple of people saying Brook and Salt going for their tons. Marley Spoons, says Jay Grover, sounds like a band from Portland.
It does a bit.
Sounds a bit like Mooney Ponds as well. Come on, Brookie, make 100. Oh, well, that ain't going to happen now. Let's see. Harry Brookie's not proper Yorkshire, says Jay Grover. Oh, okay.
Why not?
I went to the same school as Harry Brook, says Rhubarb WD, in Yorkshire.
Well, there you go. He's Yorkshire. Certainly sounds Yorkshire when he talks.
White Line Wireless used to be in Mooney Ponds.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. As did, of course, wasn't it Dame Edna? Isn't that where she lived?
Yeah. Just from Mooney Ponds, or a bridesmaid is. I can't remember which.
No, I'm pretty sure she was.
Right. She was. He was.
he was, she was.
Jameson,
oh, Lord. That's gone as well.
Sammy Curran, and he smeared it high up into the air, and there's no one down there. I assume there isn't. Well, actually, there was Darryl Mitchell, but he failed to bring it in. And he's lost his cap. It's always a good moment when Daryl Mitchell loses.
I think his cap, whenever he does anything, just slips off his glistening head, because he's always the one to lose his cap when he fields. Anyway,
he's lost his cap. He hasn't eaten it though. It's the end of the 18th over.
One of these. Stephen Kelt wants us to play the Phil Salt jingle. I mean, he has just made 80 odd. I mean, I think it would be a bit harsh. But there you go. Mr. Henderson of Perth says, having a friend who works at Grilled 40, I can assure you that their ethical approach does not entirely carry over to their employment practices.
I can imagine so.
Oh, well, actually, one of my children worked for Grilled, and it was just like working for anyone else, yeah.
Mr. EB says, and Klinger ate a tank, but not sure if he could follow it up with a hat. Well, that must have been on MASH, was it?
Yeah, I was thinking.
That's right. Looks like Matt Henry is in to Tom Banton, who is the new... have we had the Banton jingle? I can't remember.
No, we haven't.
Being remiss in the jingle chair.
Here he is. I was trying to do everything.
Too many things to do.
Not enough time. 200 up as well, of course. We've got 4 as well.
Well,
there you go.
Tom Banton.
There's not one boy for me. I
Sorry.
must have 2 or 3. I need 4.
It's all going off.
It's all kicking off.
Well, if you're a fan of jingles, you've come to the right place. It's wall to wall here, like old school Radio 1 or something. That was big, thick outside edge wide of the man who's put there for that shot, and he's gone down for 4.
Yes, it would have been a wide again,
jingle for
wouldn't
that
it?
as well if you
No,
want.
I did jingle it. I literally started that jingle as... the Banton jingle is uncharacteristically long for Mog. It's almost in sort of Perkins.
It's almost
territory.
Prog Mog.
Prog Mog. Oh!
And that's been taken, but it's been taken...
No.
In fact, when I say it's been taken, let me just add that it was taken over the boundary fence and then put down immediately. So that's a big old one of these.
It's amazing how someone can come in and third ball smash a 6 over.
It was very short.
Was very short.
I mean, it's real ducket stuff, real short stuff there. And Matt Henry's looking bemused.
What is this? The highest ever score here at Hagley Over in a T20 International, and we've still got 9 balls left.
They've all got 9 balls to go. Matt Henry, who's gone for 10 off the first 3 balls of his last over. And, again, it's been smeared over that man at sort of deep gully, and it's going down for one of these.
Who is there left out of this side in T20 terms for England?
What do you mean, who's not playing?
Yeah, who would be in the World Cup? Jofra Archer, obviously.
Would you want Mark Wood playing?
You might well do. What, in a T20 World Cup? Well,
no. I think these days I'm just not a fan of extreme pace in T20s. I think pace off always is the better option.
well, it can be. Yeah, I mean England tried that in the World Cup, didn't they? And it went horribly wrong. But that was ODIs, I suppose.
Dot 464 from Henry so far, and that's been launched back over his head. Straight back over his head by Banton for one of these.
This is an expensive.
Oh, sorry, that was a 4, wasn't it? Whoops.
Yeah, that's all right.
Subtract 2 from this jingle.
Well, 1 took over the line. Doesn't say which line and how it got there.
Lovely little cameo by Banton, this one.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? 18 off his 5 balls.
19 off 6 now, wow. That is going some. 1 ball of the over to go. He'll be quite happy to get out of here. He's not number 45 off 3.5. Matt Henry, and Banton is facing him, and it's a dot ball straight through to the keeper. So he finishes on number 45. England 2-2-3 for 4 off 19. 1 over to go.
Right. Yes. Jay Grover was saying something about Sheffield being proper Yorkshire, I think. Let's see, where did I get to? I'm going to do another Banton jingle, I think. this one sucks. You see, but Mog actually had time to write a message during a jingle.
Yeah.
That would suggest it's longer than his average. Matthew Cullen, I didn't hear that much discuss the Phil Salt jingle. Can we play it again, please? All right, I will do in a minute, I promise you. Will Reynolds, disinterested hand job, is wrong too. He has the highest red ball score for Somerset now. Who does? Matt Henry?
No, Tom Banton.
Oh, Banton. Yeah. Okay.
Well, didn't he went off the ball, didn't he? Decided that he was going to be a specialist white ball player, and then decided that it was actually affecting him and went back to playing red ball, didn't he, or something stupid like that.
Last over begins. Duffy into Curran, and I think that's gone on the bounce on the offside sweeper, and they'll just come through for a single. So Banton on strike, not necessarily a bad result.
Pete Coleman, bonjour, gents. Pete the Happy Chef, writing from Mirabel. Currently writing menus for the winter. And loving the coverage as always. Glad to see the Aussies win a rain-affected ODI yesterday in Perth. They did too.
Mirabel, you're there for the winter doing the old... no, it's not out, mate.
And that's a slower ball. There's quite a big appeal, but you'd imagine it was going down the leg, and I don't think they're going to follow it up. They scurry through for a leg bye, I imagine.
They're going to review it, and that's a bit pointless.
Well, yes.
It's going way down the leg.
It's a bit like it's also a bit like a footballer going down with an injury. It might just slow things down a bit in the last over a review, perhaps.
I was just before we came on air. There was TNT are basically starting this 15 minutes before the game. They don't even cover the toss, for fuck's sake. They are pretty bad. They're doing the Ashes as well, aren't they? Let's hit him outside the line of leg stump.
There's nothing going for that whatsoever. I mean,
no.
He's here in front of a seventh stump on the leg side there, so that's confidently we can say that's not out.
There was a terrible penalty given in the game that was on the highlights. I think it was Inter Milan were playing, and some dude was up against the defender. The guy put his hand on his shoulder, and the guy went down like he'd been shot and was covering his face like he'd been belted in the face, and it was nowhere near it. And the fucking referee went over and gave the penalty. It was disgraceful.
Fucking ridiculous. What I think is when a guy goes down as if he's been shot or pretending he's got... If, like, 5 minutes later he's absolutely fine, he should get booked. If he's, pretended he's near death. If he's running around again within, 5 minutes or so. Anyway, that just thought from me on how to improve football. Duffy comes into Banton, and that's a half volley on the offside, which he doesn't get all of. Goes down to the man on, and there's a collision as he comes back, Banton, between
another shocking
him
throw.
and the wicketkeeper. Another terrible throw. With New Zealand's fielding has been pretty... I was going to say average, but it hasn't even been that.
Didn't they thought that the pitch would be just like the other night and England would struggle, and they didn't really put much thought into it, and then suddenly they've been battered around the park and haven't really recovered.
We've had a rude awakening. Duffy pulls out of the run-up at the last minute, jogs back to his mark. Santner looks like he wants somebody to move a bit in the outfield. Not sure it'll make a great deal of difference with 3 balls to go, but you never know. Not too many lights around this ground. I don't know how far outside the city centre it is.
Oh, that's
and that's
shot.
chopped down very nicely between the bisecting the 2 men on the 45 on the offside for one of these.
Wasn't Banton didn't he basically help win the blast for Somerset in the end, didn't he? Had a innings of 70 in the blast final, was it, or something?
I'll let you know.
In quite a low scoring blast final.
That was a funny bit of cricket. Duffy into Banton, who takes 3 steps towards square leg, followed by Duffy. And he just puts his bat there and hits the inside edge of it, and they come back for 2.
And that's the end of the innings.
1 ball to go.
Oh, sorry. Okay, and they switched the balls over quite quickly. 2, 3, 4 for 4. It's a pretty decent score, though.
Yeah, by any standards, it's going to be a formidable total.
He made
And,
23
Bantam's
in the Blast final.
Oh, okay.
And was got out by Marcus Stoinis.
This is going to be.
Oh, no, that was in the
England's
100 final, beg your pardon.
in short form cricket. Bantam just pulls away. He wants to make sure he's absolutely in the zone for this last ball. Feels he is now. Duffy comes in, and that's a low full toss on leg stump, which Bantam manages to get away to the sweeper, coming in fast on the leg side.
Terrible throw,
which enables them to come back for 2. They finish on 2-3-6 for 4. England. Bantam 29 off 12. Curran 8 off through. Duffy finishes on 144 off 4. And I would say, gentlemen, England very much in the box seat.
Oh, it was terrific knock. Bear, he only played one game in the Blast. And his highest score, I think, was 68 versus Kent in Taunton, which would be his 1. So I don't think he played in the final. But
okay,
I may
got that
be out of
completely
date.
wrong.
A few messages before we sort of have a little wrap-up chat. Let me see. Leah Mirabelle, you say, funny that, I'm currently listening to Alistair Reynolds' Chasm City, and the protagonist in that thinks his name is Tanner Mirabelle. Spoiler, it isn't really. Okay, good to know. Some conversation between Leah and Mog. Victor Pearson. Sheffield, linguistically, East Midlands, definitely an outlier. Oh, okay. What else? Jonathan Shawland, breaking records at Hagley Over is not unusual because international cricket only really started there in 2014. That is correct. The history of the ground, though, is considerably longer, let me tell you. In fact, they started playing cricket in 1850 in Christchurch. Literally, the first settlers had got off the first 4 boats to arrive and formed a cricket team. So cricket, obviously, it had the earthquake as well. It was devastated by and kind of rebuilt, wasn't it, in Hagley? But
well, there's not much to destroy there, to be fair. I mean,
I'm sure
they're on banks. Unless the ground actually opened up, you know. I mean, it's grass verges on one side and a couple of temporary stands on the other, and 4 tent-like structures.
Well, it was established in 1851. 1867 was the first game there, Canterbury versus Otago. But you're right, in the new format, hasn't had that many international, 16 ODIs. This is the 13th T20, and I think 13 tests. So it's this ground in this format doesn't have the longest history. Jay Grover says, so happy Tony is back on hard copy.
Yeah,
it's only so 1 page. It's literally 1 page. Jay.
Yeah, what happened to saving the environment, Tony?
Well, it's 1 page, and it's my notes from the first game, my introductory notes from the first game.
Reusing your paper,
where I'm using the back of it to scribble a few notes for this game. So I think I'm being reasonably.
Why can you just use your notes from the first game?
Reasonably conservationist. Well, they are. They're all on my phone and didn't need printing out at all. So there we go. Oh, Jonathan Shawland, breaking records. We've had that one. So I think we are pretty much up to date.
Very good.
Didn't England smack 300 against South Africa, though, recently?
It was South Africa. Sorry, I said it was West Indies, but it was South Africa.
South Africa. So, I mean,
and we bowled them out for about 60, didn't we? Or 80. Well, it was unsurprising, really, because you can't do anything else. But, I mean, it's just one of those games.
Still managed to not win the series.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those games that could go that way as well, isn't it? I mean, New Zealand have basically got to go for it right from the off. They lose 2 or 3 wickets in a power play, you imagine they'll be pretty sunk. Because they've got to get 12 and over for 20 overs.
I don't know if the GPL will be in play. Can someone have
well,
a
you
look?
could click on it and find out.
Well, hang on. Before I do that, let me just work it out. What's 236 times 2?
252.
236 times
472.
So
473 would be the winning score.
473 would be a winning score.
If you click on the Firefox logo
here,
and you go to the first tab, refresh, Refresh.
Can't you right click on it? You should be able to just right click.
You can click on the refresh thing at the top there.
Yeah,
and it'll tell you how many. Right, roll down.
Yes.
Simply scroll down. Simply hit 3 more buttons.
Don't think so. Don't think anyone's in the territory for that.
Well, they are if New Zealand lose, obviously. Hombre Nuevo is the only
yeah.
man who entered. 407, is that his top score?
467.
Oh, that. Well, no. Yeah, that could be a tight loss. Tight loss for New Zealand.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone's in the game. Well, except Hombre Nuevo's bottom guess, which was 147 as far as I can see.
Yeah, that's out.
So it ain't going to be that.
No. Everything else, the second one would be, they'd have to be out for about 20, wouldn't they, or something? Is that 267? They'd have to be out for 30.
He's definitely not, well, it's not going to be 147.
If it's rain affected and they just get 20 runs and they have to abandon it, does that count?
No. I might, well, I'll see. If he gets it right, no.
Bear will be sitting in the balcony like a Roman emperor,
yes,
deciding whether the thumb goes up or down.
Exactly.
In the event of another rain off. I think we've got to have a hard and fast rule for that. We just say if it's rained off, the bets are off, right?
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, you could base your entire guess on dark clouds. You go, I'm going to put 10 down, and it'll all be over in.
Oh, look, we have to let Billy in.
We do, and we should probably have a break anyway, because I'm back again. I
I'll
think.
see you in a
I
bit.
need a week. Right.
There's no grey area. Making her feel uncomfortable isn't banter. You're not just having a laugh. The British Transport Police take sexual harassment very seriously. Once you're caught, they'll know exactly who you are, where you live, and can stop you travelling when you want. Because anyone, any onlooker at any time can report you by simply texting 61016. So stop, leave her alone, because the British Transport Police will make sure you don't get away with it.
Did you know that nearly 1 in 5 men in the UK experience changes in sexual performance as they get older? MedExpress makes getting professional support simple, private, and entirely online. Whether you're experiencing performance concerns or just want to feel more confident again, help is available from home. MedExpress has been one of the UK's leading online pharmacies since 2013, trusted by more than 1.5 million customers. There's no need to visit your GP or have uncomfortable conversations. Complete a short online consultation and their UK-based clinical team will recommend the most suitable treatment options for you. Your medication is sent straight to your door in discreet packaging with continued support whenever you need it. Convenient, confidential, and designed to help you feel like yourself again. Visit medexpress.co.uk to learn more and check your eligibility today.
Get a free bet when you bet £5 every week of the Premier League season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction from Ladbrokes. And for extra Ladisfaction, here's the T's and C's Garage Style.
18 plus, 1st of September to 24th of May. Opt-in weekly. Selected Premier League markets. Match 1 free bet per week. Values vary. Restrictions and T&Cs apply. Daily odds boosts. T&Cs on ladbrokes.com. Gamblingaware.org.
Gorilla World Cup, the highlights. Gorilla World Cup, the highlights. If you wanna know all the news and more, this team right here gives you more than the score. All the action, the wickets and more. Gorillas call it.
Well, welcome to Gorilla Cricket and to England's magical misery tour. If only it would come and take us away. India, with 5 straight wins, have been unstoppable. England, though, well, unstartable. Lost 4 from 5. Mathematically, in theory, It's not done yet. More than half the teams hold a negative net run rate, so 4 wins and 1 very big one could have an impact. But they still need other results to go their way, and today rampant India await, who will already have the smell of blood in their nostrils.
Well, we're back. Crikey, hardly a break, Billy.
Yeah, hello Tony, good to be back. I haven't managed to get on air for a while.
No, we haven't seen you for a while. You've been busy studying. Can't hold that against you. It's Luke Wood straight into the attack, and it's a dot ball because it's just pushed by Tim Seifert to Banton at mid-on, who had an absolute cracker.
Yeah, and I've missed it. I'm looking forward to watching the highlights. But it sounded simply extraordinary, frankly. No, I have been working quite hard, which isn't necessarily something you would have thought you said about Gorillas, but academically at least.
We should do some jingling if we get a chance, which we will with Luke Wood bowling. I'll wait until after this ball. He's going to bowl it. Is the left-armed Wood. Gets some swing, but it's clipped away nicely to mid-wicket. Should be fielded down there. It is. They'll come back for 2. It's misfielded. They may come back for 3. Well, Phil Salt, who batted so magnificently, made a bit of a Horlicks of that down on the deep mid-wicket boundary, and a 2 has become a 3, and New Zealand in with something of a chase. What's the run rate there? They've got to try and keep up, Billy.
Oh, it's got to be about kind of 12 and over, isn't it? I think.
Well, just under, yeah. I see, Billy, you've taken over 4th. It's Halo. You're very impressive.
Yeah, it's a rather irritating light that's badly designed over there.
In comes Woods. That's a good ball. Inside edge, it catches, and Robinson can't get a run. I hope he bats, for his sake, better than he fielded, because his fielding was absolutely atrocious.
Well, so was all of New Zealand. They were very poor, I thought. Very poor indeed.
They did look, I don't know, ring rusty perhaps, but they've only just played a series against Australia, which admittedly they did lose 2-0, I think, didn't they?
Yes.
We can jingle up Tim Robinson. Or did I jingle up Seifert? No, I didn't. I will do now.
Tim, he's not so Tim.
That's smashed down the ground, all the way. Up goes umpire Cox's arms.
100 runs from 40 balls.
It's a maximum.
The run rate show. Tim, it's worth watching him.
So I managed to start the 6th jingle halfway through Jeff's Seifert jingle, and it was still going.
New Zealand being ring rusty, maybe Tony's ring rusty on the jingles.
Well, I think I might be a wee bit. In comes Wood. That's a terrific ball. Oh my word! That swung in and then just shaded away off the pitch, and it completely foxed the heavily mustachioed Robinson. What a ball, Billy, that was. You wouldn't want to be facing one of those, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Jaffa just moved in slightly and then nipped away a little bit. Really wonderful delivery. That's the kind of length I always think, that little in-between length you should bowl more often in 2020 cricket. Messi, very good to see you. I heard you had a difficult time. You had a difficult time at the Australia-India game the other day.
I did indeed.
Luke Wood in. Luke Wood's gone full. It's gone full Mark Wood. Absolutely.
It's a Wood thing.
Face planted. It was squirted off the outside edge of the bat for a single. It's the end of the first over. It's how many without loss? Should be about 5.
I should say, Billy,
after that 6.
I don't think I've seen you since Lords, Billy. You never got your trip to the West Indies, did you?
No, I didn't.
But although it rained at Optus yesterday, the crowd of 42,000, 30,000 of them would have been in Indian descent, and they were fucking wonderful. It was just a beautiful crowd of people, and they don't get drunk. And they bring their families and their kids, and they were just so polite and happy. And even though they were getting done like a dinner, they didn't get miserable. They just, I really enjoyed that.
Bryden Cass into the attack for England. Over the wicket he comes. That's on leg. It's chipped up in the air. It should be easily taken by Jordan Cox. It is. Robinson, the mustachioed Robinson, has hit one decent shot, and then he's just chipped that to mid-on, and he will have to go. Not a great shot at all, Billy, was it?
No, it wasn't. He just kind of flipped his hands, really. He should have been trying to tickle it down to fine leg and tried to force it over mid-wicket and spooned it up to Cox for about the easiest catch he'll ever take in professional cricket.
Now, I've got nothing against Tim Robinson. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but we really don't like his tash, so...
Fuck off! Just fuck off!
That's really that's for his moustache. It's not for him.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I do have a memory of a few years ago. One of you two might be able to remember. It was England playing on the flattest pitch possible in New Zealand. Maybe it was Wellington. I can't remember. And someone, I think, maybe either it was Archer or it was off his bowling, dropped in a Test series. Dropped genuinely the easiest catch I've ever seen dropped in professional cricket. It was very similar to that, where it just looped up straight in the hands and they took their eye off it. I don't know if either of you two remember who it was.
No.
Or anyone getting the...
Was it in a T20?
No, it was in a Test match.
Oh, it was in a Test match. Normally I'd remember.
Jay Grover says, blimey, the posh child just gave me the fear. Billy is now forcing me to take narcotics to overcome my trauma. Literally shaking right now. Oh, come on, you're as good as any man. Jay, you know that. And Mog says that Robinson jingle is the perfect comparison between the ways Jeff and I approach the jingling process.
Right, Rashin Ravindra is going to be the new man in for New Zealand. And he can certainly give it some welly when he wants to. Let's jingle him while we got the chance.
He is gonna be a star.
He's facing Raj Kass, and his first ball is lapped away to extra cover. It was wide of off stump.
And he knows his
Steered it beautifully. And again, we're going to play a jingle while Jeff player jingle is still going. Do that one. There we go.
I think Ravindra needs a T20 jingle as well as a Test match jingle.
Yeah, I think he probably does. Jeff, if you're listening, I'm not quite sure what time it is over in Indiana. Cast in, short, pulled to leg this time, pulled to mid-wicket, pulled for 4. Ravindra knows this is a big total, and he's going to try and crack on with things while he can. 8 off 2.
Where I live is the address I give.
Short arm pull.
Yeah, that's a properly wonderful shot from Rashin Ravindra. Picked up the length there so easily and murdered it through mid-wicket. The first 4 of the back-to-backs, it was a really poor delivery from Brydon Cast, short and wide with no protection out.
It's what England were doing to Matt Henry every time he did a ball of that length. That's beaten the outside edge. I think it's been taken, hasn't it? It has. Cast has got his immediate revenge. Ravindra snicked an outside edge. Phil Salt just says thank you very much indeed. And New Zealand are 2 down for 18. And Cast has 2 wickets in the over. Such is life. Two have gone for 8 in total, and either side of that, it's a wicket sandwich. Well. Here we go. It's not shit takes wicket. I'll do this one.
You flipping muppet!
Indeed. Couple of suggestions for you, Billy. Borthy says we're thinking of Carberry, and Stephen Kelk says, was it Denley?
Yeah. I think it was Denley.
I think it was Joe Denley now you mention it.
Very good.
And I do remember it. Yeah, very good. You look like you're in a police cell being interrogated with that sort of blinding white light. You're not strapped to that chair, are you?
No, you never know, Tony in Newcastle. I could very easily be on a police cell off some of the antics we get up to. But not on this particular occasion.
18 for 2. Now, here's a man who was guilty of a crime, not this particular version of him, of course. It's Mark Chapman for New Zealand. Where is he? Here he is.
Mark Chapman.
Yeah, it's just a couple of balls have just nipped away off the seam. Riding past it.
And he's played that beautifully. He's just glided that down to a vacant third man. Jordan Cox comes comes jogging across, but he won't get there. And Mark Chapman is away with a boundary.
There's not one ball for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
England have got slips in, so they're clearly thinking it's worth going out on the attack early doors.
Well, this over has gone for wicket 4, and now it's no ball, so there'll be a free hit.
Oh Lord!
So this could quite conceivably go to the boundary as
wicket
well.
4-4. Wicket 4-4, wicket 4. So basically, something of interest has happened off every ball, that is for sure. The shorn-haired, the shaven-headed cast, in he comes. That's going to be that's a wide. So they're going to have to re-bowl the free hit, aren't they?
Yeah, it looked like a wide to me, unless he's just about gone
away. He's got away with it. Got away with it. Okay. Well, in that case, it was a very good ball. 23 for 2 and an opportunity. Rather lost, I think, for New Zealand. Yeah, we have a slip. We have a backward point. We've got a man at cover. And we've got a leg side ringer. 1, 2, 3, 4 for England. In comes Cast, down the track comes Chapman, but all he does is defend it. So we finished rather tamely a very eventful over. Wicket 4-4, wicket, no ball, free hit which didn't go anywhere, and then 2 dot balls to finish. 23 for 2, Messers.
Oh, we have a super chat from Jay Grover.
Oh, wonderful.
Send us £2, and he says moustache equals misery stroke failure. Rhubarb says moustache envy. Mog says it's jingling chaos out there. Jay says I wasn't doubting my value, I just didn't expect the cricket to start so quickly. Me too.
Well, neither did
really
we.
Gave me a shock. Yeah. It says deadly drop horror. And Adam Newman says the Ashes returns 4 weeks in Perth, Australia, November the 21st at Optus. Yes, that's Friday, 4 weeks. Day 1 and day 2 are completely sold out. So that'll be about 57,000 each day.
Is it end of November? I thought it was in December. Oh Lord!
No,
I have to start recruiting for that soon.
Yeah.
Right, Wood over the wicket comes the left armour, tickled round the corner by Tim Seifert, tickled down to a vacant third man. Adil Rashid jogs vainly after it because it's already crossed the rope, and it's 4 runs.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
Luke Wood reminds me a little bit sometimes of who am I thinking of? Northampton. Played for Northampton. Willie. Who get plenty of swing early, and then once it stops swinging, he looks a little tame. But while it's swinging, he looks the business. That one's steered to cover, fielded by Sam Curran, man of the match in the last game. He's 49, not out. Looked like it had taken England to a competitive, at least, total, but it was all academic.
I have to say it's really nice to see Sam Curran back in an England shirt. I think he's a wonderful all-round cricketer, and I think he's been slightly unlucky over the past from the Callum McCullum reign, to be honest.
Yeah,
but, good to have him back.
He took a bit of a.
Are you a Surrey man, Billy?
I'm not a Surrey man. I'm a Hampshire
he's
man.
a Hampshire man. That one's defended again, well bowled by Luke Wood.
And I have to say, I don't know if it's really been discussed at all, but that final day of the county championship was simply extraordinary. I mean, Durham, with one of the biggest collapses you'll ever see to send them relegated and Hampshire staying up.
I'm looking forward to that as an away trip next year, though, for Middlesex, I've got to be honest.
Come up the road and see me, Tony.
Well, I might do, actually.
You could have a griller lash up in Newcastle.
I might well do, because I might
stop off in Newcastle.
Stop up in North.
You'll find out what the police cells do look like.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the first time. That one is steered around the corner. Adil Rashid is where would you expect him to be on the 45? But they grab a quick single anyway. It was a leg by, so the score moves on to 28. Adil Rashid is a bit cross with himself because there's a bit of a wayward throw, and there shouldn't really have been a single there. So it was a bit sloppy from England, but they do have New Zealand 28 for 2, and this over so far from Luke Wood has gone for 5. I wonder if Luke Wood every morning just looks at himself in the mirror as he tidies in, he looks so immaculate, doesn't he? Whether he shouts at himself like a sergeant major, because he really does.
You have a weird imagination.
Well, he has the bearing of a military man. In he comes. Good ball, lovely ball, wide above stump, just shaped away enough to beat the outside edge.
Yeah, I thought that might be given as a wide, but it must have moved a lot more after the bats, which we can see at times. No, inside the line. How was it? So England in the first innings, I was asleep, so I watched the back end. But was the the pitch seems to be playing all right. So was it were England fantastic? New Zealand slightly poor? Was that?
They were very poor.
Yeah.
New Zealand, I don't think they bowled well. England knocked them out of their stride.
They didn't field or catch well,
and it was just a day when everything came off for England as well.
England went full on from the word go.
In comes Wood. That's down leg. Butler takes, but it's not a wide. Okay. So 2 dot balls to finish the over. Well done, Luke Wood. 28 for 2 off 3, 7 for Seifert, 4 for Chapman. Messages in the messaging chair.
Will says, but Billy, your uncle is probably the local beak, Woodhouse Stiley. Lockie says New Zealand all out for 87. Mark Chapman shot John Lennon. Victor Pearson says, well, yeah, time to get over that, I think. Jay Grover says we must resurrect the term beak. You don't hear it a lot these days.
Beak, that's like the chief magistrate or the judge, isn't it? The beak, up before the beak.
Jay says, Jeremy is a lovely man and wonderfully even of temper. Let's not get him started on Sam Curran. Yeah, I have an irrational dislike of Sam Curran.
Well, Cass is back into the attack. All right, old mixed bag of an over last time. 2 wickets, couple of boundaries, but that's worked away to leg just for a single by Seifert and brings Chapman back on to strike. Seifert, of course, well, nobody got to bat last time, did they? I'm just looking to see what Chapman's been up to. If I can find him somewhere. Not sure I can at the moment. But he's going to be facing double wicket taker Bryden Cass. In he barrels. It's a good ball too. Perfect length, top of off stump. Just defended back to him. Billy, New Zealand can't afford too many dot balls, otherwise that score run rate is going to go skyrocketing.
Yeah, you're sorry, my microphone was on mute. I was talking away to myself there.
I hope you're listening.
Which is not unusual. But no, I was just saying that I think that is probably the end of Luke Wood's spell. It's a no ball. Bryden Cass has bowled another one. I'm really looking forward to seeing Cass bowl in the Ashes, to be honest.
Yeah, that should be.
This series
hits the deck hard, doesn't he? He's a hit the deck bowler.
You'd think he suits Australia.
Ooh.
But we'll see. Just
a no ball. He was a bit unlucky there. So he got away with the last free hit. What's he going to do this time? Yeah, he's going to get away with it again. Perfect length. Chapman tried to drive into the off. Bottom edged it. Cass fields off his own bowling. He played in the 100, did Mark Chapman this year for Manchester Originals. Average 17, the highest score of 28 against the Invincibles. So nothing particularly special. What did he do against Australia? 4 and a first ball duck. So he's not in the best of nick. He's come to meet this. He's just shoveled it really on the bounce to short extra, and can only take a single. Brings Seifert back onto strike. How did he get himself out first ball? He was caught behind off the bowling of a man with a moustache. Ben Dorsius got him in the third of the T20s.
That's another shocker, yes.
31 for 2.
Here are just getting themselves in a little bit of a rut. They've got to get a couple away to the boundary, really. They need at least 2 boundaries and over. You'd have to think, to be honest, only 3, 4 and 6 so far in
that run rate
3.5 overs.
Yeah, going to be worth keeping our eye on. It's already 12.5. That's worked away down to fine leg. Bethel Fields, they take a single, 32 for 2. What were England off the plough play? 60 something from memory. Normally I write it down.
Yeah, I think we started it not too dissimilar to this, and then exploded near the back end of it, did we? From what I saw, from what I've seen.
Yeah, and there was a massive partnership between Brooke and Phil Salt.
England was 68 for 2.
68 for 2, that's right. Cass over the wicket, in he comes. Again, that's a good length. It can only go for a single. As Chapman attempted to muscle it to leg, but straight to Jordan Cox, who has a mane of gingery blonde hair sticking out the back of his England cap.
Well, Tony, at this stage, England were 33 for 1, and New Zealand 33 for 2. So they're kind of up with the runs. They've lost another wicket.
Well, yeah.
Not up with the run rate, but up with where England were in this position.
The worms would be entwined on the. Can you imagine? If you can imagine the famous worm chart. Carson, good ball. Seifert had backed away. And the wily Cast followed him, cramped him completely for room, and finishes with a dot ball. Better run-wise than his first over. 2 for 18 for him, Messers.
Lockie says Sam Curran can redeem himself by growing a moustache. This may take several years. Adam Newman says Stuart Broad joins Channel 7 commentary team for all 5 Ashes tests in Australia from November till January. It'll be interesting because Ricky Ponting will be on there with. I hope he can sort of leave his England hat behind to a certain extent, because I think he's much better when he's not in the cheer squad. I only have Channel 4 and Channel 5, says Rhubarb. Well, you're going to be deprived in that case unless you can find a stream somewhere.
Mark Wood. Over the wicket, left armour to left-hander, and it's thumped straight back past him, all the way along the ground by Chapman, and he's got himself 4 runs.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Slightly over-pitched, Billy, by Wing Commander Wood there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit, and it was a wonderful drive down the ground, only narrowly avoided the stumps at the non-strikers end. I have to say, Messi, having seen the state of the commentary team that TNT Sports have shamefully put out, I will either be listening to Griller or finding some other stream myself.
In comes Wood. Worked nicely between mid-wicket and mid-on. Harry Brook, the captain, goes thundering after it. He will put it in short of the boundary. They will take 3. And the score will move on to 43 for 2, I think.
I suspect TNT will pick up either the Channel 7 or the Foxtel commentary and just use those as studio people, because it doesn't look to me like a full crew.
Well, from what I read, it was they were doing their own commentary, but I hope they're not, because they've got some rugby. I read they have some rugby union, some tennis people.
Wood in. He has launched, he's got hold of it. It's all arm strength and muscle from Seifert, and he's got it away through mid-wicket for 4 more.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
This is a bit what we were saying,
I think this is poor captaincy from Harry Brook. Tony, I said that I thought it would be the end of Luke Wood's spell. He was looking ineffective towards the back of that second over, and he's decided to give him a third one. And we all know that giving bowlers 3 overs on the spin in a power play is never usually a good idea, because they just get lined up, and it's precisely what's happened here.
Well, he's gone for 11 so far. That's up in the air. Drops well short of Sam Curran, who's at short mid-wicket. And it's a dot ball at least for Luke Wood. Well, this is what we were saying there, isn't it? Luke Wood, he's when the ball is just swinging, hence our Willie analogy. I probably want to rephrase that. Hence our David Willie analogy. He looks the business, but once the ball stops swinging, not so much, and that's short and pulled, and it's going to be 4 more, as if to emphasise our point.
4 on the floor, and 1 more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4s are for, to get funky on the dance floor.
Well, I've got to say that I understand that analogy, Tanya. There's a kangaroo who lives in my garden, and when he's on the move, his balls swing like buggery, so he's known as Mitch, as in Mitch Stark.
I see. I'm with you now.
I've managed to find out on the TNT coverage. It says Alistair Cook, Stephen Finn and Swan will work as on-site pundits, but Alistair Eakin, Rob Hatch will lead the
Expensive over from
commentary
Woods.
from home.
That's a better ball, but it's driven straight again this time, not with too much power. And did they take a single? No, they didn't. So Luke Wood has got out the over with a dot ball. None for 29 off his 3. 48 for 2 are New Zealand. And actually, crikey, we're already due a change. Bloody
Okay, I'll do a message and then hand over. Mog says it's not the increasing slide into authoritarianism or the devastation of the environment that makes me yearn for sweet oblivion. It's those fucking moustaches. And I'll hand over there.
Is it 40 coming in? Where is he? There
Yes,
he is.
it is. Hello.
Very good to see you, 40.
Yes, very good to see you, Billy. Do you remember Michael Carberry dropping an absolute sitter though in the gully at Melbourne about 10 or 12 years ago?
I actually don't. Was that the 13-14 series? I think Carberry was.
Yes, I think it
Was
was.
that Carberry?
Yes,
another
Actually,
Ashes horror down under.
No, that was a horror. But he was unfairly dropped after that series. He was probably England's best batsman, and they just fucking dispensed with him.
Sam Curran comes into bowl, and it's just full of Yorker length, and it's dug out by Chapman, and there may be a shot that stops his hit.
Wow, it was a direct hit.
He looked to be just home to me, but direct hits are usually close. They're usually someone upstairs. It was Jordan Cox who hit the stumps, and we know that he is what the youth say, a gun fielder. They had all
the youth, that's you, mate.
Youth, yeah, that is you. We have a new bowler. We should give him a jingle, really. It is. Where is little Sammy Curran?
Is he a batter or bowler?
Sam Curran.
What's his distinguishing feature?
Sam Curran.
His dad's from Zimbabwe.
Sam Curran.
And he's beloved by Liz Yates.
Sam Curran.
But he's in once more. It's a slower ball, one of those moon balls. Seifert gives himself some room and slaps it to a wide, long on, and that is 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Now, what I want to know, Billy, is did your landlord finish your house? Or is
They
it
absolutely have, and my house is frankly unbelievable. It's literally brand new.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary. They have there at last. We moved in. Well, we were supposed to, in theory, move in on the 1st of July. We ended up moving in at the beginning of October. So that's landlords for you.
That is landlords for you, and I am one of them.
5 off current drive, 2 overs. This is full, driven by Seifert, who's on 21. There'll be no run there. Now, Bear, are we going to be having a rant, a moan, or anything in the high over stint? Or we had some brief correspondence yesterday.
Yeah, we did, yeah. As I said to you, Billy, don't panic. Don't panic! It's the beginning of the season. We're only 4 points off the top. We're having a bad spell.
My father always says you can't look at anything until 10 games in.
Well, you can't look at anything.
It is 10 games in now, isn't it?
No, it's only 8. You can't look at anything till Christmas, really.
That was shorter from Sam Curran. Shouldn't be a wide. England have got away with a couple, and it isn't. So for 21 off 15, they need to get going here if they're going to have a chance. New Zealand. But yeah, it was disappointing nonetheless. It's United and Chelsea. I said to you, I can't stand losing to.
No, United particularly can't stand losing to United. To lose at home to them as well. I don't know what's going on really. Well, Mo Salah's not playing very well, is he? I'm going to swap him out for Haaland in my fantasy team, which I haven't done for 3 years. So that's how bad he's playing.
Curran 2 dot balls in a row. He bowled 5 off his over so far. This is swivel pulled down under square leg. Is that? I couldn't see. Was that Bethel? Picked it up and fired it in. Yeah. Well, the problem with fantasy football is you have your allegiances. So I've had Mo Salah as captain all season.
Same here.
He's got me barely any points. So
exactly.
I'm doing, frankly, terribly.
Yeah,
I think
me too.
the whole of the world dropped Mo Salah about 2 games ago. I know I did. I had Salah and Haaland, and that means that you've got a whole load of 4.5 million players who would do absolutely nothing for you.
But that's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, I can't. I can't go that way. It's one or the other. And Haaland is going to come back in, and he'll stop scoring goals now.
Curran comes in to complete the over. This is hammered down the ground by Chapman. Wonderfully picked up, and that will be 6. He moves himself to 20. New Zealand 60 for 2.
They're doing all right here on the chase, aren't they?
Yeah, they've not done badly. The pitch looks to be good. 40, you got any socials?
Yes, I have. Rhubarb says Stalin and Hitler had decent moustaches. Jay Grover, I'm Stockholmed into guerrilla cricket now. I never end up watching even when I have the chance. He says Stalin's moustache was better than Hitler's mine. Mao weren't even in the game. Eric J says all varieties of Swede. Our Will says I'm the same. The theme plays and I get a weirdly emotional oneness with the universe. I'll just break off for a second because I've just put together, talking of Mark Chapman. Don't know whether this is of any interest. I've got an England 11 of cricketers who have equally famous names who don't play cricket.
Murderers? Are they all murderers?
None of them are murderers. So I've got Mike Smith, Sam Cooke, James Taylor, John Lewis, Richard Dawson, Chris Adams, Jack Russell, Chris Smith, Paul Parker, David Steele and David Lloyd. Not bad.
The wily Adil Rashid has come into the attack straight off the power, and this first delivery is just pushed straight back to him by Tom Seifert. England 68 for 2 at this stage, New Zealand 60 for 2, so it's close in that department. So Rashid spins himself.
Yeah, someone
blows on his hand, blows on his right hand. He comes in and bowls. This is tossed up. Seifert goes for a slap over to cow corner, but chucks it to mid-wicket where it'll come through for a single.
Yeah, someone's got to pay the Harry Brook roll here though and get 70 off about 30 balls. And then Tom Banton scored 30 off about 10 at the end. So I mean, it's a big target. They've got to go all the way.
Well, this kind of situation is really where Adil Rashid absolutely thrives, when people feel like they have to go about go and attack him. You can't milk him in this situation. So I could see Adil Rashid picking up 3 wickets here or so. That looked like it's a big googly, and there's a bit of poor fielding there as they come through for 1 out to long off. Moves on to 62-2. Bear's getting bored because we haven't seen enough boundaries. He's yawning in the background. Seifert on strike again. 3 balls in for Rashid over. This is tossed up. Has he got hold of this one? There might be man out.
Yay! No.
6. That is enormous. And Tom Seifert goes on to those kind of utility bowl type, whatever you'd call them, and he moves on to 29. New Zealand 68 for 2. What do you call those almost? Well, what are they? Those little. How would you describe that?
Well, it's a tent-like structure, isn't it? We lost another ball. I don't know how many balls Harry Brook lost. About 3 or 4. That was very similar.
Well, that partnership reached 50 from the 32 balls. Seifert 26 off 18 in it. Chapman 21 off 14. So they've gone okay. 6.4 overs, 68 for 2. But no, on the fantasy football, that is always my issue with the game. Is I actually think to be really good at it, you can't have any allegiance to a Premier League team because you're just too involved. Salah bowls again. He gets on the back foot here, Seifert, and drills it down the ground. They'll pick up a single because I
might have a Premiership team. Might have a Premiership team next season if this carries on.
You're going to pick loads of Coventry players. That would probably be unwise in a fancy Premier League team.
You're probably right. You're right, yes.
Chapman on strike. This is tossed up from Rashid and shoveled into the leg side. They will come through for another single, so that score goes up to 70. They've done well off that first Adil Rashid over. 10 from it, 70 for 2.
Oh, right, yes. Hang on a second. Will Reynolds says, I'll have a bit of Frank Norman. Jay Grover says, serious point. Carberry proper shat on. Yep.
Yeah, he was.
I think we're all agreed on that. Jay Grover, Will Reynolds, he's very good. We should start a book club, says Will. My FPL is top 1.3 mil, says Rubo. I'm not quite sure I can decipher that. I expect it means a lot. Oh, I think I do know what that means, yes. Jay Grover, I do read lots of books. Just finished The Traitor's Circle by Jonathan Friedland. Very good, not happy. And Eric J says Will prefers more chocolate on his biscuit. And that's a reference to clubs, of course. There's something that Billy might not know about. It's an old jingle, advertising jingle for Club Biscuits. If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club.
Well, apparently they've changed though, haven't they? I was reading a story over the weekend, which look, we have a Shane Bowling.
Love a club.
Yeah,
it's Liam Dawson's coming into the attack to Chapman. Bowls this is wider and cuts. Will it be cover? No, really good fielding in the cover to stop that. What is that? That's Harry Brook. It's the captain throwing himself onto the floor.
Let's have a jingle for the new bowler.
Wait and then you wait and wait and then you wait and wait. Ugh, Liam Dawson.
There was a very good advert for a Edinburgh health club called The Club, which the headline was, if you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club.
Well,
Dawson's coming around the wicket. It's a reverse sweep from Seifert. He's played that really nicely. He will trot through for a single. The shot probably deserved more than that. 2 singles to come off the first 2 deliveries. New Zealand moved to 72-2.
apparently they can't call it chocolate anymore on a club. They've reduced the cocoa content so much and put so much palm oil and something else in. And now they're calling it tastes like chocolate.
Really?
Because of the cost of cocoa beans has gone up so much.
Well, that's been thrown a lot wider from Dawson. Chapman arguably has missed out there, so he's just kind of topped it into the ground, and Dawson picks up his own bowling. England 78 for 2 at this stage, New Zealand 72 for 2. These two just building a nice little platform, you'd have to say. There's Dawson with some strapping on his right hand on a couple of those fingers. He's bowled with his left-handed. Comes in and always that squirts off the outside edge of the bat. Butler will pick it up at almost a gully position. Well, 2 singles, 2 dots so far. Bet Dawson's the bowler you think they need to get after.
Yeah, that's a good ball though. If England can bowl just 2 tight overs here, they'll put massive pressure back on New Zealand. I mean, this is the thing, they've just got to keep going and keep going and keep going.
It's a shorter and drilled, really nice shot from Chapman. There is a fielder coming round, it's Jordan Cox. They will, you'd think, get a couple. Well, can Dawson get out of this over? 4 from it so far. It's been a good one. His first of the day, it's really nice to see him in an England shirt. I still think he's unlucky to not be. I know he didn't do much in that Indian test, but I still think he's unlucky not to get a slot.
Well, he annoyed me, and I've got to say, he annoyed me in that test, Billy.
Well, he bowls, and this, well, it's maybe my Hampshire rose-tinted glasses, and there will be a single, so he does get out of the over. 5 from it. New Zealand 75 for 2. Can you explain more, Bear, until you go to 4 feet?
Well, there was Jadeja was bowling out. There was rough well wide of the off stump, and it was turning sharply out of that rough and causing England problems. And he didn't really target it at all when he was bowling, and that was the only place that he was going to get anything purchase out of. And he just kept bowling too straight, and his opportunity was there, and he didn't take it.
There he is, 4 feet. Any messages?
Jay, I will only join the book club if Bear can read a book. That's not fair. Although it's been a while. Disinterested Handjob says, now do a murderous 1140. I think that might be pushing it, Mog. Rhubarb, who's going to win the Traitors on BBC? To which Matthew Cullen immediately says, no traitors, spoilers, please.
I haven't watched it. Another thing that's passed me by, I just can't be bothered to invest the time in it.
The original Traitors UK was very good, I will say.
Sam Curran comes in, it's a Yorker to Chapman, and it's going out well, and he picks up off the one. No, I've enjoyed watching the Traitors. I find it interesting, just more the psychology of it all.
Well, that's how I used to feel about watching early Big Brother. When it very first started, the first series was very
Nasty Nick.
Nasty Nick, exactly, and we thought we'd never seen anything quite like that before. And then, of course,
it became de rigueur.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I always think when the celebrities come in, that's when there's a problem. It's a moon ball from Sam Curran, the one that he developed in the 100. They will look to get a single and should scamper through. They do. 76 for 2, the score goes on to. No, yeah, as I say, the psychology I think is interesting, but as soon as people realise that they're going to boost the social platform so much and make loads of money out of it, then I think that's where a thing like that starts to really go downhill. But I do think the Traitors is slightly different in the sense that it's a game. I mean, Love Island I despise.
Oh God, my daughter loves fucking Love Island, and we had to watch it a few times. It's fucking tedious.
Absolute drivel.
And the people on it aren't even very attractive. I mean, what's it supposed to be? I mean, all the women are just dolled up to the nines with fucking false eyelashes and shitloads of bloody makeup.
Current balls this push down the ground. They will not get a single.
Don't be rude to the people who regularly watch Guerrilla Cricket, Bear. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's
dolled up to the nines with false eyelashes and loads of makeup. Yeah. Well, if you're sitting at home watching us like that, I love you anyway. But you know, yeah, it's just not very interesting. And most of them haven't got fucking brain cells to rub together either.
No, that is true. Curran in once more. This is wide and going wider. It will be called a wide, you'd think, and it is. 2 dots, a single, and now wide off this over so far from Curran. 3 balls left in it, chasing 2-3-7 New Zealand, to remind you. They are currently 77 for 2.
See, this is where Brooke was smashing sixes over the boundary at will. I imagine at the end of this over, they'll be about 20 behind.
Not at our will, just to be clear.
Curran in again. This is pushed down the ground. They will come through for a single this time. Harry Brooke once more does the fielding. Oh, there's a misfield from Josh Butler, but luckily they don't get any runs from it. So 2 balls left in the over. Curran bowled 1.4 overs, none for 15 so far. That ball is developed there. That little moon ball is very clever, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's hilarious. I mean, it takes so much pace off it, doesn't it? He bowls at about 40 miles an hour, which is slow by Saturday League standards.
It's just short, and he gets a bit of glove on it, does Chapman. I think it was glove rather than bat, so it dribbles slowly down to fine leg, and they'll come through for single. So here we go. New Zealand, you'd think, really need a boundary off this last ball of the over to make it anything vaguely approaching upon decent.
Are you going to be able to be a regular member of the Ashes crew, Billy?
I'm not sure, Bear, unfortunately. I've got a bit. I don't even know how much I'm going to be able to watch. Unfortunately, all my work is piling and piling up.
Are you in third year now or second year?
Yeah, third year.
Oh.
Last ball of current over. This is a moon ball and could in fact be a no ball. Probably should be. Seifert's got hold of it though, and he's stuck it onto that 10 to get it. It'll be another lost ball. Well, it's a no ball 6. So New Zealand really benefiting off a shocking delivery from Sam Curran there, and that is precisely what they needed off the over. 1 ball now from it.
Yeah, definitely a no ball.
Yeah, so third year, so yeah, have to do some work, unfortunately.
Oh God.
Yeah, disappointing. But I'll do my best.
That's okay. Well, over Christmas you might be able to.
Yeah, unfortunately that's worse.
Huh?
Unfortunately that's worse.
Oh really? You got to catch up with it all then?
Almost up to early January.
Oh God.
Yeah. Middle of December and early January.
Ugh.
So it's not as bad as it could possibly be for the Ashes, but yeah, I will try. Number 23 Curran now, so this is the last ball of 3 hits. If Seifert can, who's on strike on 38, can squeeze another 6, that would put New Zealand up to 92 for 2 off 9 overs, but it really needs to go to the boundary. You would think at least a 4. Taps his bat down a couple of times, looks up to see the short head Sam Curran coming in. This is wide and will be a wide. He falls over rather dramatically.
I think he got a toe end on that, you know.
Oh, did he?
I think so. Well, because it couldn't be out because it's.
Oh well, it's a dot ball.
Well, yeah, because he was as a free hit, wasn't it? So he couldn't be out. But I'm pretty certain he just about scuffed the toe end of that.
Yeah, that'd be disappointing because it was a very poor delivery. Any messages, Wolfie?
Yes. Matthew Cullen, I'm not up to date as I spent all weekend playing football or drinking. I think he's talking about the traitors there. Burnley Tilidi, greetings. Hello there. Tony Bishop, it's Moorish architecture, Billy, like your Hampshire pavilion. Lockie says Jock the Ripper. Will Reynolds, Jay Grover send me all the book recommendations. Stephen Kelk, I read a book once. Rhubarb, drinking isn't a good excuse to request no spoilers. Victor Pearson, Penguin Man myself. Penguin. Jay Grover, Christopher Clark. And Lockie, I'm writing a book, Duckett, the greatest bowler of all time.
Well, Penguins, interestingly.
Dawson in once more, this is wide and will be called wide.
Penguins are made by the same company, McVitie's, and they were the other biscuit in the story. So both clubs and Penguins are now chocolate flavoured rather than chocolate covered biscuits.
Got to say, I think a Tim Tam is an upgrade on a Penguin.
Oh, I absolutely love a Tim Tam. This has been slapped down the ground. It could be caught and is. I think Jordan Cox just got it there before it bounced. That's a wicket England needed. Chapman goes for 28, New Zealand 87.
Ooh. Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust. Smash straight to him. Good catch.
Yeah, it was a good. Go on, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, New Zealand cost themselves dropping Brook twice, didn't they? So, yeah, got to hold your catches. Catches win matches, as they say, and that's 87 for 3.
Yeah. Billy, shall I just do a few messages?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, I'm a bit behind. Childhood flashbacks, mint, says Jay. Eric J. Christopher Robin. Jay Grover is going away. French Christopher Robin. Fluff, evening limeys and none limeys. Eric J. Lemons. Jay Grover, the psychology of it all. People are pricks. Shocking. Will, I'm definitely a club man in terms of cricket, but you know we're on the streams together a lot. Rhubarb, yes, I am more attractive than Love Island contestants. Well,
there you go.
Stephen Kelk says, can I contribute to your timely masterpiece, Sir Mary says to Lockie, talking about the Ben Duckett book he's working on. Fluff, the golden rhubarb. J. Grover, bear dolled up to the 9s, has just given me the fear.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Matthew Cullen, can't imagine there's a huge overlap in Love Island contestants and Guerrilla Cricket listeners. Well, you never know. Rhubarb says my tan is natural. And the bare belly dancing with a stash and false eyelashes, the fear from Matthew Cullen.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Bluff says, but your abs are cosmetic. Have we got a new man in yet? No, not yet.
No, yeah.
Okay. Hang on.
Did I have drinks in a T20?
Surely not. Rhubarb says, I have amazing abs, but they're hidden by too much rhubarb crumble.
Yeah.
Jay Grover says, so have I. And Eric J says, Forthy's sweater looks a bit Led Zeppelin, definitely cashmere. Oh, is it? Yeah, cashmere. I see what you're saying. It's a pun on cashmere. Very good. It's not actually cashmere. It's some cheap material, I think. Fluff, nice definition.
Polyester.
Stephen Kelt says, nods approvingly at the academic focus of young Billy. Stephen Kelt, great academic himself, of course.
Of course.
Yes.
Keeps trying to get me to help him do stuff, which I can't mark. The next man in is, after this ball.
Yeah, Dawson will come in. This is nice and straight. Good cricket, that just pushed by Mitchell. No run.
It is this man.
I'm not an old black funny, I'm Peep Show. Wrote that book, oh, Darryl, not David Mitchell.
Dawson then once again is pushed down the ground by Mitchell. They might scamper 2, they think about it, but ultimately decide against, which is probably a wise decision. So New Zealand 88 for 3.
Well, Seifert wasn't even looking, was he? He just decided on 1. Mitchell was up for it. That was a good ball by Dawson, wasn't it? Middle stump, and it straightened on a good length and pretty flat. Not easy to get away and hit somewhere large.
Yeah, I'm liking his pace. Dawson?
Well, he does the typical spinner in a white ball format. You bowl a lot of darts, and the odd one you give a bit of air. Usually the odd one you give a bit of air, they pick up and smash over the boundary, so you go back to bowling darts.
Once again, this is more leg side-ish and just turned by Seifert into the leg side. They'll pick up a single and one-handed pick-up from Jacob Bethel and throw in. Yeah, it was 1 for 8 off 1.4 over so far as we've bowled now.
I remember playing in a charity game for the Lord's Taverners, I think it was, at Wormsley, and I was bowling to, I think it was Clive Radley, or might have been Michael Yardley.
Dawson and once more to Mitchell, and he's not concerned about getting the boundary there. It's another push down the ground. Once again, he looks to turn for 2, and Seifert has absolutely no interest. So that moves it to 90 for 3, 2-3-7. They are chasing if you're just joining us.
And literally, any time I gave it a tiny bit of air, I smashed for 6. If I bowled flat, he didn't really get me away. But at any time I bowled anything with tiniest little bit of air, bang, gone.
Final ball of Dawson's over, gets on the back foot, does Seifert, and there is no run. Well, Dawson's bowled 2 very good overs there. He's taken 1 for 9.
Yeah.
90 for 3. And we are
we're due a change.
We are due a change. I'll just pave over with a couple of last messages. Rhubarb asks, is Billy at Northumbria Uni? Are you, Billy, before you go?
No, Newcastle. The Newcastle. I would say I'm offended by that, but I don't want to offend any Northumbria people.
No, don't do that. Will says, thank Christ he's a genius. Though if you like Flan the Man, you should give Blind Boy a go. And finally, Fluff says, looks Dan Marino to me. There's a very good song I'll just finish with, called Dan Marino by MJ Lenderman, and it's about the fact that Dan Marino is looking at his bottle of milk in the supermarket and see that Tom Brady has taken over as the face, and he queries how upset Dan Marino is by that development. It's a very good song, and it's a very good album called Both Songs. Over to, I imagine, Messi.
No, it's me, actually.
Oh, hello, John. Hello, John. In you come.
Hi, Forthy. Well, that ball was played out to mid-wicket for a single. 14.7 and over, the required rate at the start of this over. I think it's becoming even more mountainous than it was when we started.
Indeed.
Here's Seifert facing, and he has a big swing at this. He's knocked it not long enough, I don't think. And that's going to be caught. It is. It's caught at deep mid-on. And another one has gone. Seifert's perished for 39. From 28, and it's 91 for 4.
That's Rashid doing.
I won't look back, 'cause by the time that I do,
from the moment he hit that, he knew that he hadn't got it properly. It just went off the top edge, went a long way up in the air, but it didn't go very far.
Yeah.
And he's
a lot of height, not a lot of distance though.
No, no. The arc would have looked rather pointy for that. I think a pointy arc. And
that run rate's over 15 now as well.
Yeah, the scoreboard pressure is told in the end. I think it was Bear that said a couple of overs ago, I've been listening in, and Bear said all it needed was 2 or 3 sort of reasonably tidy overs and the whole thing goes through the roof, and at that point you're just sort of swinging and hoping, really. Well, Bracewell is in.
That Dawson over really kind of put pay to it, I think, really, and
he's a
Rashid's
shrewd
doing.
operator, is Mr. Dawson. He's a shrewd operator with a white ball. He's a pretty shrewd operator, full stop, really, but certainly with a white ball.
Knocked us out the One Day Cup.
Indeed, yes. Here is Rashid again to Bracewell. And he just comes forward and plays it back down the pitch for no run. So another dot ball and cruise into the book. And England are turning the screw, we would say.
Yeah.
Here is Rashid again, just off his few paces. He's in, and this one is on leg stump, turned us around the corner to the man just forward of square leg, and they amble through for one more. There's almost an air of resignation about this now, Will.
Yeah, I mean, the New Zealand heads are down, and the fact that sort of that slightly stray one only went for the single shows you everything.
Oh,
really.
This is bunted back and it's missed by Rashid. Surely that was a caught and bowled.
He got a hand on it.
It was a miss hit, wasn't it? He played the shot before the ball came, really, and it ballooned up, and Rashid sort of threw a hand up in the air and parried it over the top of the bar, and it travelled out to mid-off for a single. Here's Rashid again. That one turns into him and he plays it out again to mid-on. So another one for Bracewell. He goes to 2. 94 for 4 at the end of the over, but another good over for England. A wicket and just 4 runs. This is looking hopeless now.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Forthy got to. There's a lot of love for Tim Tams. Don't know if we'd had that before, Nick Vickers. Tim Tam is better than a penguin.
No, I've never had a Tim Tam. What is the difference? Is it the one with the marshmallow in the middle?
Can't remember. I've had them and I can't remember.
I didn't even know what a Tim Tam was, I have to confess.
Forthy, please say you don't prefer Vegemite to Marmite. Apparently Vegemite costs more in Australia than anywhere else in the world, according to Lockie 6, which is interesting. I need to eat more Vegemite and Marmite, says Rhubarb WD.
Here's Dawson. Oh, this is wide of off stump, and did that go underneath the bat as he tried to cut it square? I think it went underneath the bat. I don't think it bounced very much and skidded underneath the bat. In any case, it's a drop ball. It's a dot ball. Got my teeth in this morning. Here's Dawson again, and that's very wide, and it's hit up in the air. That's going to be out as well, and it is. Another wicket for Dawson off another top edge, and they're falling like flies here now. 94 for 5. Bracewell goes for 2.
Which one shall I play? Oh, this one. Well. Oh, where's the one gone?
I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Well, I think I did the batter a disservice. I don't think it was a top edge. I think he just got it off the bottom of the bat, and that's why it didn't go very far.
Because Dawson was sort of playing that kind of skiddy cutter thing that he does, it really does. It sort of like spins up off the bat.
Yeah. So it doesn't bounce very much either, which means it's very difficult to get underneath it properly, and he
Yeah.
Just sort of spooned it, didn't he? Really. But this is turning into a very good night for Mr. Dawson.
Well, I think you can safely say that England's spinners have done a better job than Santner and Bracewell.
Mind you, that would not have been difficult.
I
think you and me might have done a better job as spinners than Bracewell and Santner tonight, Mr. Bishop.
Could be. Here's the new man.
We'll teach 'em, Jimmy Neesham, unleash 'em, Jimmy Neesham.
Jimmy Neesham cuts his first ball just behind square. There's no run. Another dot ball in the book. Yeah, they're making a habit, the New Zealanders, of hitting it back past the bowler but into the fielder's hands. Dawson once more, he's in, and this is swung away on the leg side, and that one's beaten the fielder and gone for 4. Well, Jimmy Neesham is a man who will keep throwing the bat at the ball. It's not usually someone to die wondering.
No.
Here's Dawson again, and this is wide of off stump and slashed away through extra cover. There's a man out on the fence. He throws the ball back in. It's just 1. 99 for 5 in the 12th over. Chasing England's massive 236, which is looking over the hills and far away, it has to be said.
So, nearly 17 now, the run rate.
Dawson to complete another over, and this is turned off his legs into the leg side. It's just going to be a single. So the 100 comes up at the end of the 12th over, but 5 wickets down, and Dawson has 2 for 15 after 3.
There seems to be quite a lot of chat about voting age, which voting age is 16 in the UK, says Rhubarb WD, at the next general election. That is very
they've changed
true.
it now, haven't they? Yeah.
Marcus Rashford for PM, says Rhubarb WD. Where's he playing? He's playing in Italy at the moment, isn't he?
He's playing in Spain for
Spain,
Barcelona.
He's Barcelona.
Barcelona.
He's on loan at Barca and
Yes,
absolutely ripping it up, apparently.
Yeah, he's doing rather well.
That's enough. It can rain now, says Fluff 30 India Fluff 3.
Rashid
dash
in,
India.
and this is bashed back over his head for 4 runs. That's a brutal hit from
4 on the floor, and 1 more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4s are for, to get funky on the dance floor.
Well, I think if Rashid had thrown a hand up at that, it might have taken his hand with it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with the court and bowled things. Like, it's not worth your fingers, you know.
No, I think you're right. Swung away again by Mitchell, but that's out. Caught at Cow Corner. He perishes in this forlorn run chase. Mitchell's out for 9. Another wicket for Rashid. 104 for 6.
On your bike, mate.
Again, he's tried to fetch that from outside off stump against the spin and never looked like getting it far enough.
I think it's interesting that both England men and England women are at the moment actually playing very similar tactics, because they've both got premier spinners that do that really turn the screw in the middle overs, with Sophie Ecclestone and obviously Adil Rashid. It's just sort of one of those kind of weird synergy moments that you sometimes see, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, on the subject of the Indian women, I thought the bowlers did very well yesterday to defend that total, because I thought England were about 20, 25 short with the bat.
I was going to say, they were. India really should have seen that out, but
yeah, they should, but the England bowlers did well.
Yeah. Well, they're really, Sophie Ecclestone particularly is really good at that kind of defensive tight bowling, and then being able to switch into that attacking thing as well is great.
Here is Adil Rashid to the new batter, who is Mitchell Santner, and he slaps this one through extra cover. That's a lovely shot from Santner. 4 runs from his first ball. Beautiful shot.
You ask where I live, here's the address I give, the phone.
He's got big long legs,
I think that
Get right to the
Dawson
pitch.
and Rashid really complement each other's styles. They're, very different, but really, yeah.
This one is on leg stump and just played out on the leg side for no run. Yeah, they're forming a good spin pair here.
Yeah.
Dawson and Rashid. Here's Rashid again. He's in, and this one cramps Santner as he tries to force it away on the offside, and it ends up just going straight back down the pitch. Another dot ball. I think this game is in its death throes. Here is Rashid. This one turns into Santner, but he's played it well, and he's beaten the fielder in the deep and got 4 more. So 3 4s from that over, still not enough.
It's Nissan
lost
She.
the wicket as well.
It's Nissan She.
112 for 6 at the end of the 13th.
Yep. Quite a lot of excitement that the Australian Prime Minister's about to sit down today, I think, with Trump and Vance. So good luck to him with that. Let's hope he gets treated with a bit more respect than some.
He has my sympathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Poor bloke.
Odious task.
I don't reckon Albo's lisp will go down too well, says Fluffy. JB says, I think Mitchell saved a test match in his early test match career. More than likely. I mean, he made loads of runs against England in that 22 series, didn't he? He was just unlucky that England always made more. But there seemed to be times when he was taking them on his own.
Dawson again, and this one is swung out into the deep to deep mid wicket, where Phil Salt does the fielding. Just a single. Takes Neesham onto 6. Brings Santner back down into strike again. 8 from 4 for Santner. Dawson just setting himself again. Seems to have a very sort of solid routine. He's in and bowls, and this is played up to mid-off. Just a single. England won't mind about that. It's boundaries that are needed now.
Isn't he Dawson from Devices?
Yeah,
Billy would know.
somewhere around that ballpark, I think. There's Dawson again, and this is swung on the leg side, square of the wicket. There's a sweeper out there on the leg side boundary, so just one more. Ball return to Butler, and 3 singles is nowhere near enough at this stage. He must be approaching 20 and over, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, it was 17 a minute ago.
Oh, that's a big swing from Santner, though. That's gone for 6. Huge from Mitchell Santner. That one set up a bit from Dawson, and he's planted it straight back over his head.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
That's really the first one that Dawson's bowled that has sat up, and it's,
it was a fraction short, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's in again. Oh, that's very wide. He's going to have to bowl that one again.
18.76, 18.31, sorry, the run rate at the moment.
Goodness me. Here's Dawson again. Into Santner, who throws the bat at that. He's got enough of that one as well, I think. Yeah, that's 6 more. Oof. That's huge. Over deep mid-off.
The number of the day really hops and kicks. The number of the day is 6.
That's 16 off the over so far. He's going down fighting, is Santner.
Yeah.
That was huge. No crowd catch. think they scattered away from it rather than try and catch it. That's a full bunger down the leg side. That's going to be 5 wides.
Oh.
Well, this is becoming an eventful over. It all started so well. That's 21 off the over. Dear me. So bowling that one again.
Seems to have lost the plot a bit, hasn't he, after such a tight start, Dawson, and a couple of wickets.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in this over. Well, this is the last ball of his spell, hopefully, from his point of view. And it's played back over his head, and it's going to go all the way for 4. No, it isn't. There's a man out there. He was blocked out by the sight screen. That's Jordan Cox, isn't it, down on the fence?
Yeah.
So just 2 they got back for. So 23 from the over.
Oh.
Well, 2 or 3
Heavy.
more like that, and life could get interesting again.
Some discussion about Albanese and Donald Trump was quite entertaining.
But perhaps not broadcastable.
Rhubarb WD says Trump is blessed by angels because they deflect bullets. What else?
Let's not go there.
A friend of mine grew up in Dawson's Creek, although I see he spelt it crack, which I think might have been, I don't know. Says Lockie, Dawson's Creek can't hold a candle to Dawson's Pit. Is there a place called Dawson's Pit? Don't know. He stoppeth one of 3, says Victor Pearson. I don't know what that means. It all seems to be wandering off topic. Possibly given that England look reasonably nailed on.
The run rate came down to 17 and over because of that over. And Bryden Cast is back on. And he's played out into the mid-wicket area. Oh, did they scamper back for 2? They did.
I think
that was a bit slack by England because there shouldn't have been 2 there really. But they ran hard, got back for 2, and they've got the target down to 100 to win. The trouble is there's only 35 balls.
That they're going to bowl them out? Because
I'm not sure. That's a big swing from Neesham. He misses it. It goes through to Butler.
I mean, I just wondered because I was assuming that they were going to use Carson, the sort of death overs, but he's only got, he'll have 1 over left after this, so it just seems a bit odd to bowl him out so early.
Maybe they're just trying a few different things out, I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's Cars again, and that's another big swing and a miss. From Jimmy Neesham, who's not quite got his radar right. He's certainly not having the success that Santner has had.
They both look like 2 slower balls from Cars.
Yeah, I think
where he certainly chucked it into the pitch.
Yeah, he's got some variations, hasn't he? There's Bryden.
His slower ball really does slow up as well.
He's in again here. And bowls, and that's his chip back over Cars's head, and mid-off was up in the circle, and so therefore it's gone away for 4.
There's not 1 boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
It was well struck. And mid-off up in the circle. Once it had travelled beyond him, it was going to run away for 4. So that was better from Neesham.
Yeah. Well, he really isn't going to die wandering, is he?
Well, there's no point, is there, really?
No. But I mean, like, as a bloke, he's so... He's got 1 mode in all of life, I think, Jimmy Neesham.
He's a bit macho man, isn't he? Here's Cars again, and he's had a swing at that. That's gone up in the air. It's bisected the 2 fielders on the 45 on the offside. Rashid's chased it back, and they've come back for 2. That was an almighty swing of the bat. He nearly swung himself off his feet trying to hit that. And didn't go anywhere near where he intended it. He was trying to put it over mid-wicket, and it's ended up spooning up in the air off the top edge. Is it just me, or does Cast look like he's bowling off the wrong foot, even though he isn't? Cast is in again,
Yes.
and that one is swung over mid-wicket. Jordan Cox is out there, and it's just one.
Mike
So it's
Proctor.
not just me then.
Do you remember Mike Proctor?
No.
Well,
He
did
has
bowl off the
he
wrong
has the weirdest landing,
Yeah.
other than maybe Bumrah. Bumrah's landing's weird.
We're due a change, chaps. It comes
We
rattling
are.
round. I'm going to do some very final messages. Thank you, Jay, for one of these. Oh,
YouTube comments were not getting a mention.
Topic, stop overusing exclamation marks, Tony. I'm only reading tweets. How can I be putting exclamation marks in? He does go on, though, however, to say something. Oh, no reason for that. Just couldn't be asked to succumb to rage. Tony's a grammatical stylist. Fair enough. The Ancient Mariner quote was the 2 of 3 from earlier. With that, I'm going to hand over to, I suspect, Messi, who'll be in with Bear and Billy, and that's me for the day.
And I'm going to sign off
Thanks,
too.
Danny.
Bye,
Thanks, John.
everyone.
Right.
See ya.
Well, Karen
Yeah, well,
will. Well, this is wide and driven, but not timed. And there's a shot stumps actually. They might get some overthrows. I think they will. Harry Brick has his mouth over his hands. It was obviously close. As the Bear slots back in.
Well, this is going down to nowhere wire-wise, is it?
No, it's why T20s can become a real nothing game quite quickly if the scoreboard pressure is so great.
Yeah, agreed. Very occasionally someone chased it down. Right, Santa is facing up. He's 23 off 8, so he's doing his job. He's skipper. Captain's innings, and Sammy Curran is in, and he's smashed another 6, hasn't he? Oh, nearly a one-handed catch by Banton, but he would have probably gone over the fence anyway, and he couldn't hold on to it. It was a good shot. Extra cover, 6.
One tongue over the line, sweet Jesus. One tongue over the line.
I mean, it was there, wasn't it? Width to free his arms.
Yeah, I did think that might be one of those little relay catches. I think he got a finger on it.
He definitely
but
got a hand on it.
He was probably so concerned about trying to get it back to a field or get it back in play that he then took his off it slightly.
Indeed. 29 off 9, though. Pretty good going. Curran is in again. That one's straighter. And Santa goes across trying to work it into leg side. Just hits his pad and there ain't no run. What do they need? They need, 80? 47 from 19 balls. Well, I suppose it's doable. In a IPL game, 50 off 3 overs, you wouldn't put it out of the realms of possibility.
Well, I've got to say, Santa's batting is better than his bowling was.
Yeah.
He bowled some fair old rubbish.
That one is top-edged, trying to cut it down to backward point. They should get back for 2. Cast comes downfields. How come they 49 off 18 balls, now they need 49 off 20 balls? They got that all wrong, didn't they?
No, that's the partnership.
Oh, that's the
49
partnership.
off
I was going
20.
to say they need more than 4. Okay, yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah.
they need nearer 80. In fact, they need 84.
I would have said that England's pick of the bowlers had been Liam Dawson, but then his last over was absolutely spanked.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame.
Doesn't really matter. They've done the hard work, haven't you? Got a couple of wickets. Had a Rashid got one. Yeah.
There's often just one over, isn't it? Like Wood's first 2 overs were excellent, but his third over was just hit everywhere, wasn't it?
Yeah. Curran in. That's straight and clipped nicely by Santa. He's going to get himself 4 more. I mean, he's certainly batting well. 35 off 12. And another boundary.
You ask where I live, here's the address I give, the phone.
But considering they need, well, exactly 80 now. Oh, 25 balls? Nearly 4 balls. See you later, Tone, with his poking up his umbrella as he leaves. That's a wide. And they move on to 158 for 6. Well, one more game to go in this series. England 1 up. Can't lose it.
Yeah, and then we've got the ODIs to come, don't we?
Yes, not looking forward to those 1 o'clock in the morning starts. Quite grim.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do the first one though because it's Sunday morning. That's quite handy. That's flashed that slower ball by Sammy Curran. It wasn't a moon ball, but it was a slower ball. Big swing, no ding from Mitchell Santner. Doesn't get given as a wide because he's gone quite a long way across and it might not have been over the line anyway. 1 over, down, 4 to go. Over to you, Messi.
Lockie says, is it true that a cherry tree grew out of Trump's ass? I doubt if it could have because it's so full of noses and brown tongues and heads that I don't think there's room for anything else.
Yeah.
Victor Pearson says, I cannot tell a lie. Lockie 6 says, Jay says everything is politics. Lockie 6 says, hot yoga is not politics, except for bloody Karen who keeps trying to sell off Greenpeace badges.
Yes.
And Fluffy says, Iron Maiden penned the Whim of the Ancient Mariner.
Yeah, no.
Rhyme.
The rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. Yes.
Yeah.
Good song, that. I like a bit of Iron Maiden.
Classic. Early night Iron Maiden. Number of the Beast albums. Great. Adil Rashid's going to bowl his final over. He's gone for 26, got a couple of wickets. 2 for 26 in 3. Bowling to Mitch Santner. He bowls a horrible wide down the leg side, which is missed by Butler. This time it's not going to be 4 wides, it's going to be 3, I presume. They'll get that for 2. So it'll be 3 wides. Poor start from Adil. I don't know why they just don't bowl straight. It doesn't matter if they hit a couple of 6s and over at the moment.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to imagine that he's bowling in the death and wants to put himself under a bit of pressure.
Well, maybe. Yeah. That one has gone a long way up. Not sure it's got the distance, though. It hasn't, and it's been caught. Tom Banton catches that out in the deep. Adil Rashid gets his 3rd. It was the googly. And, of course, it was just what would have been a standard leg break to a left-hander. But he didn't quite pick it up, got too much elevation. He's a strong lad, Jimmy Neesham, but he couldn't strong arm that over the boundary. And Tom Banton picks up another catch and another wicket goes down, and we have to say goodbye.
The crowd says, you're out.
They need over 3 a ball at the moment.
Yeah, Jimmy Neesham didn't exactly have a good game, did he?
No. Well, have they brought him back out of the wilderness for a bit? I mean, he was saying the other day he's like 35, 36, and he was talking about.
Yeah, he's not contracted. He just takes whatever's going, you know.
Okay, have they got injuries and they just decided to bring him back? I don't know. I mean, Kane Williamson isn't.
So many cricketers you see kind of now retire and then suddenly come back for a game. It's always a bit odd when they come out of retirement.
Well, particularly in New Zealand.
We still don't know about Stokes with the white ball stuff. He retired, came back to the World Cup, and then he's never actually retired again. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they should leave him out, let him just play Test matches.
Yeah,
if he's made that intention, I think it's disruptive to the rest of the players.
Yeah.
Right. Carl Jameson's the next man in. He gets a googly from Adil Rashid, and he misses it. And there is no run. We'll give him a little jingle.
And that's the story of how Kyle Jameson.
Another googly, another big swing, inside edge this time out to deep square. Just be the 1 run.
Jameson can certainly hit a long ball. His head there was absolutely all over the place.
Yeah.
I think a Rashid Jameson matchup is most certainly in Rashid's favour.
Big wahoo.
Santner's batted beautifully, 35 off.
Yeah, 35 off 13.
We'll see what he'll do to.
He's nearly up with a rate, really, actually, of 3-a-ball. Well, it's nearly 4-a-ball now. Down the track he comes. Doesn't quite get to the pitch. Manages to get a fat inside half of the bat. Goes out to Sammy Curran at deep square leg, and he'll get a single. Good final over here. Part of 2 wides at the start of the over.
Yeah, it has been really. He is such a good bowler, Adil Rashid. He's got to be, I'd say, he's the greatest England white ball bowler ever.
Probably, yeah. Isn't he? Him and Rashid Khan, aren't they having a battle to be the top T20 wicket keeper? They keep taken over one another. That one is played up to mid-on. There's no run. Although Rashid Khan's been a bit off colour for the last 6-8 months, I think.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Rashid certainly has more chance. Rashid Adil Rashid, that is, certainly has more chances internationally. I mean, Rashid Khan has a lot of fun.
And Rashid Khan is still unbelievably young, isn't he?
That was a pretty shit ball from Adil Rashid, but he's managed to pick up his 4th wicket. Ends up with 432. It was down the leg side. Possibly would have been a wide had Santon decided to get inside it, but he did try and pick it up over the leg side, and he did pick it up enough. And Sammy Curran, I mean, it was well down the leg side, and Santon just slapped it straight to Sam Curran out of the deep square leg, and another wicket goes. And this is the point where, as I've said many a time, you should be able to knock over your king in a chess match and declare yourself done.
Yeah.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Good innings from Mitch Santner.
Yeah, he did somewhat of a job, didn't he?
Yeah.
A lost cause from a while out, really.
Indeed. I mean, Jameson's a decent bat as well. I think he was coming in at 9. So I mean, both sides bat very deep.
Yeah, but that's where it's so difficult, Bear. If you post a big score like England did, I mean, you have to go off to such a big flyer so that you're so far ahead of the rate, because it's so much harder to explode at the back end if you're chasing.
Yeah,
than it is if you're not.
I mean, that's it. I mean, you've got to keep up at least with the rate during the power play. But I mean, the thing was,
I always think you've got to be way above it, to be honest.
Well, ideally you do, but I mean, if you're at least up with a rate and only one wicket down, you're in with a chance. But I mean, the fact is that Harry Brook totally exploded outside the power play, didn't he, when he first came in? I mean, he went off like an absolute rocket. Luke Wood's coming back to finish off his bowling spell. That's a good shot from by Carl Jameson. Both men out deep, one at wide long on, one at deep mid wicket, both in a little bit. He's picked it perfectly between the two of them and gets himself 4 runs. He's into his pads and he just chipped it with good timing into the gap. And
yeah, really good shot that. Just flicked off his legs. James moves to 6 or 4, as we've said, he can bat, so he might look to have a bit of fun here against Luke Wood.
Well, it's a genuine all-rounder. That one's clipped into the leg side, out towards deep backward square, but they should only get 1.
He's so tall, he just has such long levers.
Yeah.
The ability to just give himself room and have a swipe.
Well,
Luke Wood, guys, do you think he's in England's first choice white ball side?
I don't think he's his first choice white ball side. Possibly. I mean,
he's not bad.
He's not bad.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he's on the fringes. I think you'd certainly, if there was a World Cup tomorrow, I think you'd certainly take him in the squad.
Yeah, I think they will. But I mean, ideally, you have Jofra, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
That one is pulled nicely straight to the fielder.
Oh.
Could you catch it again?
Yeah, good catch.
See, England have held all their catches. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
New Zealand didn't. That was a good catch. Again, that was battered pretty hard out in the middle of the bat from Henry. But straight at the fielder.
Both Bethel and Cox are magnificent fielders.
Yeah. Absolutely. It looked like he might have grounded it for a minute there. He sort of caught it awkwardly and fell over awkwardly. And the problem with Cox really is that fucking haircut. And if you're kind, he
we're
looks.
great sartorial critics, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're
luckily
kind,
we are so well groomed that we're
well,
entitled.
exactly that. But I mean, if you're kind, he looks like a wing commander. If you're unkind, he's Aryan and a little bit of a Nazi. Anyway, today I'm feeling kind. He can be wing commander Cox. Duffy is the last man out. We'll give him a jingle as he's out there. It's a long one, I think. He's facing up now. It's an attempted Yorker from Luke Wood. But, sorry, I meant Luke Wood. Goes up to mid-off for a single.
Played mostly one-day stuff and test is he good enough?
Oh, yeah, no, he fell and had to turn his hand over so he didn't ground the ball a la Mitch Stark in the Ashes. And Wood comes in for his 5th ball. It's pulled out towards long on. It'll be a single. And 1 ball left in the over. Only 1 wicket left and 2 overs left after this, and requiring way too many runs. Oh, so we should see what the GPL is actually at the moment. So that'll be 38 plus 7 and 3. 408 are we on at the moment? Does that sound right to you, Messi?
Looks about right, yeah.
408. I think there's someone around there. No, 397. And the last score, they would have to lose a lot closer than this. So I think the GPL is going to be safe today. That's chipped up and out. Game over. They only just make it to the 18th over. Duffy can only bat that to the skipper, Harry Brook, who is at mid-off. And in the end, score pressure told too much. Too many runs to chase. 237 was too far for the Kiwis. They started off okay. Lost too many wickets and lost 2 in a row who were going within 2 overs of each other when Seifert and Chapman were out. They were keeping up at a rate, and everyone else really never got going apart from Santner. And in the end, England win easily by 65 runs with 2 overs. They didn't have to bowl. Only 18 overs required to do that. So England go 1 up with 1 to play in the T20 series, and that was good display, I'd say, by England.
Yeah, you'd have to say it was, sorry, Messi. You'd have to say it was a pretty clinical all-round performance, wouldn't you?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I thought New Zealand were very poor altogether.
Yeah.
I think from the word go, they just didn't seem switched on at all.
No, and they were the other night, so it's a bit weird, wasn't it? I mean, they did well the other night to keep England down to 130. I mean, it does kind of depend on either Butler or Salt getting off to a flyer at the beginning, and the other day they just didn't, and struggled to get the ball away. Today it seemed that they bowled all the wrong lengths at all the wrong times, and gave England the opportunity to get that flyer, and they took full advantage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's been some discussion on the chat about various artists, number of the beast, run to the hills, and Jay says the number of Guerrilla Cricket Iron Maiden fans concerns and unsettles me. To which Rhubarb says the Irons are great. Mog says Quentin de Kock came back for the game South Africa lost to Namibia, so I'll blame him. Rhubarb says Adil is the best white ball spinner ever. Full stop. There you go.
Interesting.
And Jay said Rashid Khan is a very young 45.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Shawn says, I suspect a lot of Guerrilla Cricket listeners are the right age to remember the Iron Maiden golden days.
Well, it was my first ever gig, was an Iron Maiden gig, and they were backed up by Def Leppard, I think. Wembley Arena.
We do have a closing super chat from Jay, who's been our only super chatter today, I think, despite Halifax trying to block him. He sends us £2 and he says, Towel, off to drink and eat cheese. That sounds a perfectly acceptable pastime, Jay. Thank you for being with us.
A bit early for cheese and booze, but, you know, I do have to go home and have some breakfast. I'm quite hungry.
Never too early, Bear.
Well, it is when you get older.
I should say, in real cricket, Pakistan 172 for 3 against South Africa in the 60th over.
Okay. That one is that only a 2-test series, or is it a 3-test series?
I think it's hold on, I should tell you.
I think it is a
2-test series, and then they go on to T20s. Yeah.
Are they for the next round of the World Championship? I thought it was going to be a minimum of 3-test series, or is that the rule they're mooting?
That's the following round.
Okay. Cool. Right. Well, we should wrap it up. You go and do some work, Billy. Sounds like you've got a lot to do.
Yeah, I do. See you guys. Good to be back.
Okay. Yeah, lovely. Good to see you all. We shall see you all again Thursday morning, same time, 7:15. When I air at about 5 past. Good to have you all with us, and we shall see you then.
See you then.
Bye. Bye.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come. This is a cricket.
insurgency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Carol Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran